Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Diabolical Souls Presents, where we're going to be doing X-Men 97, Episode 10. Tolerance is Extinction Part 3, the finale. We're doing the finale, guys. This is the last week of doing X-Men. Looking forward to this. Let me switch this up. What's going on here?
Kind of heartbreaking, man, because I was digging all the drawings I was doing every week for it, and man, the show is so good. So yeah, I guess like all things got to come to an end.
Yeah, it could have come to an end after maybe more than one season. That would have been nice, but
Well, before we get started, I want to quickly say if everyone could hit that like button, that'd be greatly appreciated. If everyone can leave a comment afterwards, that'd be even better. And please subscribe, not only just to me, but everyone on this panel. That'd be even better because these guys have great channels as well. And I'd appreciate if you went and visit them because they're my friends.
we've been through so much together, guys. Over this,
shut up. Let me speak. No, I'm kidding. We're hoping our guest comes on. So I'm throwing that out there. Hopefully he comes on in the next little bit. But quickly, I want to say hello to everyone on the panel here. Badger, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Great episode. Very excited. Excited to see this. Because we are a team, Vaughn. We've been through so much. So much.
We went through this journey together, guys.
Something tells me this won't be the only thing you see us all on together.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, let's go. And we couldn't do without Zaxx, of course.
Oh, Zack, I have a request, actually, man. I just thought of this because there's 8 of us, correct?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Can you do an homage to Fall of the Mutants, Uncanny X-Men 227 with all 8 of us?
I could,
money, please.
Yeah. Listen, boys.
Joe, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm ready to rock and roll. Talk about the last episode of this season that was just a banger. And like you said, I forgot that it was 45 minutes long. So it was definitely solid. But yeah, coming off of last night, we did the Spawn review. Jay was there. We looked at issue 355 of Spawn, which was a fun show. And now we are here for this show. It's going to be an awesome show as well. It's 2 shows in a row, 2 nights in a row. I'm excited. Let's go.
Thank you, Joe.
Let's get the cocaine. Let's roll.
Now you're talking about language. Sammy, how you doing, buddy?
Good. I mean, this great episode, man. There was like a little pain in my chest knowing like this was, like the end of it. I've enjoyed hanging out with you guys every week. Talking about this has just been an absolute banger of a series. I hope they continue. I remember when we were talking to Bo, he said he had 2 or 3 seasons mapped out. I hope they really kind of stick to what he had, because this is obviously someone who understood the assignment. And God, when you understand the assignment, magic things happen. And it really was a great time. So thanks for having me on.
To piggyback that, when you stick to the resource material, it really helps.
Source material matters.
Yes.
And if you make changes, but I know that they're done in a way where it's like there's reasoning for it, that's fine. Like as if it's an informed decision, Yeah.
And of course, my Winnipeg buddy here, Zaxx, is with me. What's going on, bro? You're muted.
What a fucking Canadian.
Come on, man.
You're muted.
You're still muted.
Muted.
Still muted. Still muted.
There we go.
I thought it was a clickable button.
This is his mutant powers. He can talk, but no one can hear.
I love it.
No, still muted. Technology has spoken. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Check it. Sometimes it assigns different mics in your browser. You got to check in the setting. Maybe put a different mic.
He was just talking though. Was
he?
We're being attacked. Someone shut this down.
Well, let's go to Andrew. Andrew, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining.
Doing good. I'm excited to get into this episode.
Yeah, it's a banger. It's very heavy, this one. It's got a lot of information, a lot of great dialogue. So, I'm excited to get into this. And of course, Vaughn, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. You know, I passed 1,000 subscribers. My channel's been blowing up.
Congratulations.
I just got the letters to my comic are done, like a revised.
yes.
Zack gave me some good feedback. Most of it was implemented. You know, it was great, man. I took note. My letter and I talked. So the book is done. My comic is done. I'm making more and more content. The after party, of course, tonight. It's been good, man. And if anyone is in the Connecticut area or wants to travel up, I will be at Terrificon this weekend.
Oh, nice.
So tons of cool people. Kayla's going to be there, Joe, actually.
I'm sure you guys will have some kind of Claremont powwow.
Actually, yes, she sent me. My phone was buzzing. She sent me 11 texts about how excited, paragraphs, how
Sounds
excited.
like Kayla.
She's like, he changed my life. You don't understand. I'm like, I do understand. We talk about this quite often.
Every day you remind me.
Are you good, Zack?
I do have to say though, Vaughn, I'm glad to see that you changed your Kitty Pryde costume into a Cyclops costume.
I literally
That's
put
very
on a visor.
the last episode. Very excited.
It began.
Yeah, well, I did it on one of the many episodes you skipped out on.
Shadow Cat.
But it's okay. You know,
Zack,
guest
are you good?
character, I guess.
Can you hear me?
Oh my
Yes,
God.
we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Hey, you don't have to fucking yell.
Yeah,
Scared the shit
Yeah.
out of me.
Hold on.
yeah.
Is that loud enough?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
There
you're
you
good.
go.
You're good.
Louder.
You're good.
Louder.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing?
I'm good. I was working on my roof today, and I'm wondering if Zack can come over and please clean my eaves troughs, since he's taking requests from us to do whatever we want, right?
Oh, shit, if he's taking requests, I
I
got
thought that was a
some.
different type of joke.
No, get over here, Zack.
I don't know.
I mean,
Zack, and how are you doing, buddy? You're drawing something that's like really cool for tonight.
Yeah, some of you guys have seen it. This is gonna be I made the drawing bigger for tonight. So
Might be going for this one for reasons.
yep.
Yeah.
It is it is
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Well, we have 92 people watching right now. So
Shout
just a
out.
quick shout out to the chat. Lizard of Lennox Lane, first one here. Gooch is Canada's most movie critic darling. I don't know about that.
You're like
but,
critical drinker, but Canadian and sober.
No. Alex VRB, I heard Turbo Man was going to make an appearance. It's Turbo time.
Turbo time.
Mike TWNG. Hey guys. Well, thanks for joining us, Mike. Appreciate that. Tim Collins. What's up, Gooch? Thanks for joining us, Tim. Appreciate you. Mama Badger. Look at that. She's always here. Hi, Mama Badger.
Yo.
Thank you for joining us. Nadia's in the house. Let's go.
What up?
Thanks, Nadia. She's dying to know who the guest might be tonight. Scrolling
It's
down.
me.
Oh, I was just on his channel. Check out his channel, everyone. Great channel. Film Comics Explained. Nia, he is a great guy. I just had a blast on his channel. Go check it out, please. I encourage you to go check it out. Thanks for joining us, bro. Eraserhead, the OG. Hello there. What's up, Eraserhead? Keep scrolling down. Tech Rat's here. What's up, Tech?
Going
Hey,
into the
Budcast Day. I'm
movies.
walking into the movies and taking
Mhm.
the take my view. Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
Adam Gray's here. What's up? Flame on.
He's gonna say it.
Zaxx is on the panel, but also in the chat.
Careful.
We got Enzo here. Gooch, y'all going to talk
What's
about how
up?
DeMeo still hasn't been invited to the Emmys.
I'm not too good for the chat.
Star Wars Marvel purist, what's up? I got lost in editing. Thank God I remembered. What's up, gentlemen? Hail chat. Thanks for joining us, Star Wars. Appreciate you, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. And then we got the other OG Jamma gang. Yep. Gooch gang is all here. James Brighter, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining us. Did I say buddy? Buddy.
Brody.
Rick Costa.
Right.
Rick Costa, $5. Thank you so much. Not the last episode already. This has been so fun with you guys. I got 3 more episodes of my own to do, but you guys are way more fun. I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for joining us. If we do a second season,
He
season,
did get an extra episode because when Bo was on, we basically didn't cover the first episode, so it was like a Bo exclusive.
Gooch is sober, but Gooch speaks Goochanese. So Boosh is in the house. What's up, Boosh? Appreciate you.
Sober.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 8-ball doesn't
I meant
count.
non-alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm also
Well,
sober.
yeah. Yeah, I don't really drink anymore, so I'm not much of a drinker.
Yeah.
So getting into episode 10, just general thoughts before we get really into it. I'll start off with Badger. Your general thoughts of the whole series, and then let's going into this episode.
Well, obviously not what we thought it was going to be, and for now the reasons we understand. God help us with the continued seasons. This one will be a diamond in the rough. Much like Deadpool and Wolverine, this one season of 97 will be one of the rare good things that has come out of these dark times that we'll look back and go, how the hell did that happen? Hey, but how did that happen? Like, how did these good little things happen? So yeah, I very much, it's like, I mean, like a rating for the entire series or just my thoughts? Because my thoughts are very pleasant. It's good. It's worthy of being a continuation of the original, which I guess maybe says enough without giving a number.
Just saying this backstage.
Yeah.
Stole everything he said. No.
Yeah. Every
just...
one of us are thinking the same thing. We're kind of hesitant on season 2.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out. I'm just totally
But
out.
guys, they got the guy who did What If.
No. Now, Sammy, they will say that he's the guy that was already helping him. But okay.
How is he helping?
Get ready for every character to be character assassinated.
I want to know.
Yeah,
didn't help hard enough.
Okay, I saw Bo DeMeo. He had an X-Men phone case. Does he have an X-Men phone case? I don't believe him.
Joe, what are your general thoughts before we start getting into this episode?
I mean, of the season itself, like Badger said, I was completely surprised and turned around by it. I had one opinion going into it when it started, and that quickly changed, and saw it for the greatness that it was. It was a lot more dramatic and emotional than I thought it was going to be, and that was a nice surprise, because I thought it was going to be kind of maybe a remake of the 92, but with more of the agenda in it. And I was surprised at how much of the agenda wasn't in it, even though there was quite a bit of stuff there that people can complain about. But the care and love of the characters, the way that each character kind of had a chance to shine and showcase powers and stuff that we didn't get to see really in the original series was amazing. And you talk about the last episode tonight, you get to see some amazing things. I mean, I know we're going to get into it, that I didn't think I was going to see either, in the end fight in both settings, both on Asteroid M and both on the island where they're at. So no, the season was great. I do have trepidation for the next season. A lot of worry from everything that's been going on, stuff that they've revealed, especially coming out of D23. So just, I'm going to enjoy this for what it is. And if this is all we get, then I'll be satisfied, because this was a banger of a friggin' season, and you can't take that away, even if the next installment isn't as good. So rock and roll. Let's go.
Nice. Sammy?
I loved this show. Yeah, like I said, I had my apprehensions going in. I was pleasantly surprised. It exceeded expectations. It was probably it's now probably my favorite adaptation of X-Men outside of the comics. I mean, you can't get much better. I said Bo DeMeo understood the assignment, and when you understand the assignment, you get good results. And this is probably anything that any X-Men fan could have been asking for the last 30 years. I mean, I've been following comics since I've been about 5-6 years old. I mean, I couldn't have dreamed that it would have been as good as it was. So I'm very grateful to, got to witness it and then come back to chat about it with you nerds. So,
Zaxx, I know you're an X-Men fan. I know we've talked about this. What are your thoughts of this whole series, and especially this episode?
Well, I want to say first that thanks you for having me on the show to talk about it, because you're one of the people that pushed me and motivated me to watch this show in the first place, because I was going to stay away from it completely, but then I tried to watch episode 1 and I couldn't get through it. And I think in hindsight, a lot of it was almost for me like Uncanny Valley, where it was so similar to what it was, but yet a little different. So it was like off-putting, especially like Wolverine's voice and things like that. And then I backed out of it, and I've heard that other people have done the same thing. And I got back into it, and man, I love it. And so I love this series. And for next season or whatever, I'm kind of at the point now where I'm going to enjoy what we have. And how many seasons of shows have we watched where the first season is excellent and the second is not so much? And it doesn't mean the first season is not good anymore. Of course not. Like, so I'm enjoying
House
this.
of the Dragon.
Right. I still love season one. And even though this is not as good, but they're different shows on its own, this tells a great story. And for me, member berries all over the place. From when I used to buy these comics, floppies at 7-Eleven, and then read them 12 times, and then, like an idiot, leave them in my basement and they get flooded. But
No.
yeah, they're readers, but I did bag them all at one point, and then I sewed. But this for me was like so many things right. And the finale is excellent, like the rest of the series. But so if you've never watched this, the first episode is your hump, and my 20-year-old son watch our review of the first episode, and then him and his girlfriend have watched the series now, like in the last couple of weeks, because of us and the show, and they love it too.
Wow.
So if he likes it, and he doesn't like a lot of shit, guys, because he's 20 and he plays video games and goes to the gym, and he doesn't really watch a lot of TV anymore. But they love it. So I'm telling you, like this show has it, and I'll celebrate season one as much as I can.
I love that. Look, he's not harming anyone. Playing video games, working out, sometimes watching X-Men.
Jiu-jitsu a little bit.
Oh,
yeah.
Talk dirty, but you listen to Joe Rogan.
Well, Andrew, I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the season leading up to this.
Well, I'm in more of a unique perspective because I was never really interested in the X-Men franchise. The only one that I really enjoyed was Logan, and I never watched the original show. I didn't read comics, so I kind of went into this like I went into the One Piece live action, where I was like, yeah, whatever, this is new, I'll do this. First episode, it was all right. It was good fun. Second episode, I was pretty much down for whatever they were going to do. And like, this show is just great from like an outsider coming in. It's just great at introducing you to the characters again without feeling like my hands being held. Like, oh, this is this character, he does this. It's like, I'll figure that out while the show goes on rather than expositing information to me right out the gate. And just a lot of good character work, especially with Magneto, especially with Gambit, especially with Professor X, Cyclops. Pretty much everyone has good character work in the show. I can't really think of any character that is done a disservice to. Overall, fun show, great substance in it, and yeah, it's just a good show. And anyone who is scared about going into it without knowing any of it, you'll be fine. There's a couple things that I'm not familiar with, but that doesn't take away from the enjoyment and the quality of the show.
Who was your favorite character? If you had to pick one, just curious, wondering.
It's probably a tie between Gambit and Magneto.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I thought you'd say Glob.
Glob. I thought you were saying Glob.
Listen. Ironically, it's Glob,
Stick-
but like as a main character, like as people who actually talk, it's Gambit.
All
and
right.
Magneto.
If you want to answer for real,
he
Glob
came
is-
for Gambit. He stayed for Glob.
True. True.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I'm
He
gonna.
must have been
I
disappointed.
have no problem saying this, but Andrew, like since I've met him and he's been on my channel for a year, so but like I really respect your perspective and your opinions, because you come at it at a very objective way, and someone like your age having that ability, it just blows my mind, like especially at your age. Like I never expect it from someone like a young 20s to have those strong opinions and be like really knowledgeable about a lot of it. I've learned a lot from you, so I just want to throw that out there. I thank you, and I respect your opinions, because like you do a hell of a job, reviewing shit.
Aw,
so
man, I just
want
work
to throw. Yeah, but no, I just want to throw that out there because like when you do say something, it hits, and it's just like, oh shit, okay, yeah, okay, take that, and you just eat it. So I want to take that.
Take it. No, eat it.
And to another young individual on the complete opposite end of that spectrum, we'll get Vaughn.
But on the spectrum nonetheless.
Yeah.
No, he's a very
Oh,
he's a smart boy. He's a
No,
very
he
smart boy
is.
as well.
Yeah,
A lot of them
no.
are.
He's all right.
All right, man.
He's dressing up.
No,
but-
Vaughn, you're an X-Men like nerd like us.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So I want to hear your opinions about this season getting into this episode here, which is a banger.
Man.
So.
I mean, I liked this episode. You know, I was like, oh, 40 minutes, that's exciting. And you know, I sat down, I watched, I thought about it for a bit, and I try now that I'm so into the comics, I compare a lot, but I also just try to look at it objectively too. But the thing is, you can do both, right? I think it was a very solid finale. My complaint, however, I will say, is the fact that it doesn't feel like it feels like it's right there, and then it doesn't really end. It's like, oh, see you next time. And it's like, well, now we know next time's going to suck balls. So it's like, it does
There's
taint the
always
ending.
hope. There's
But
always
it does taint the ending because it's like, you know, I mean, and look, to be fair, that kind of stuff happens all the time, but it's like we're building up to this finale. I wish that the season ending, while it could lead to something more, we don't get really a full ending scene that I personally felt was enough for our villains. I think that we're close, but I feel that it was a climax that's kind of skipped the resolution. And I think what we got along the way was fantastic, but it's hard to even say whether it stuck the landing because I don't think it landed. You know, I think that is ultimately going to be the Achilles heel here is that
It was waiting for season 2, and
it was waiting for season 2. We end on a hook for a season that I'm no longer excited for, given the behind the scenes stuff. And I'm going to say that is the toughest part about this, right?
Yeah.
Coming from an X-Men fan.
Well, coming from a fan in general, I mean, how often do you see a season of a show and it's to be continued, and then we're not always given that?
Well, Vex says, I'd like to listen to Vaughn break down King of the Hill. His enthusiasm sells everything he says.
Look, I'm very enthusiastic. I can't wait to get into some thoughts on stuff. I think there were some great things.
Viagra, buy it.
Tell
It
me about
works.
propane and propane accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on the propane verse?
What if they wanted to put beyond medium rare? We politely ask them to leave.
And finally, oh, sorry, Badger, you want
No. I was saying Zack.
Zack, just ending off with you, and then we'll get right into the episode here. Your thoughts of this season?
Wow.
It was amazing. I mean, honestly, it's been a hot minute since I've seen something so damn good and I actually went out to the comic shop multiple times to buy X-Men stuff, at any comics, just to little more things that I might have missed out. Like, for example, Wolverine, with Genosha and all that stuff. How was Wolverine's life happening after, the adamantium got ripped out? I wasn't too knowledgeable on that. So I went out and started buying all the books. And, great stuff, really great stuff. And, I feel when you got me going like that, and I'm like a hardcore fan, but I'm skeptical about the way things are written and handled now. If you got me going out and buying stuff, man, you did a hell of a good show. Because I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You get fans excited about the stuff that they're watching. It kind of clicks something within them that they're you want them wanting more about it. So they get out and they want to spend the money to go ahead and know more about it. So this show did such a great job doing that. Another thing too is that we're all about oh, that's not canon or this isn't canon, and with the way as creators, like Joe, me, Vaughn, Jay, when we go ahead and we make our content, right, we make our comics and whatnot. We're trying to find a way to tell new stories. Bo is a creator. He's trying to take something that's been there and try to do a twist on it, but not divert too far away from the source material and still make it really, really well. And he hits the nose. Like all of us, we know the difference between material and what was on the show, and we still did not mind. And that's something that should be recognized. And honestly, the show, he should be up for an award. He really should be up for one.
He just won one that he wasn't allowed to accept.
Did he actually win it?
Yeah, he posted about it. He just posted about it. He got.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I thought he just wasn't accepted
5.
to the. Okay, great.
What's up, Crowley?
Yeah,
well, that's good at least.
But no, I mean, Zach, to your point, another thing that it does is it gets people enthusiastic about the source material. And I could do this. I've been doing these shorts talking about how the show compares to the comics, and people are now asking me.
They're good. Check them out.
And people are asking now, like, oh, where can I read more? And that's a good thing. Whereas, a lot of the MCU stuff, they go, what happened? Oh, okay. This is a
I just
show...
want to point out that Joe or someone pointed out that you're doing this all in a Batman t-shirt, which is
yeah.
Who was it? Was it Badger?
Yeah, it was Badger.
It was Badger. Yeah. It was Badger. There
yeah,
we go.
I was wearing it. That was the shirt.
Better for that kind of stuff.
Sometimes I just record in a fit. Sometimes I record in a fit of passion. I'm not a corporate,
I
guy.
condone. I walk in both worlds too, but that could trigger some fans. They don't like it.
Well, they could suck my balls.
Oh,
well, that's also
wow. Growing up. Look at that. I like that.
Yeah, trying to be PG here, don't you know?
Oh yeah.
They could suck my. They could.
Bo would love you. Bo would absolutely love you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
A little twink in his life. Getting into episode 10, Tolerance is Extinction Part 3. Does anyone know where this takes place?
It should be in Israel.
It's in Israel, and it's in the 1960s. This is the time setting, and I had to dig to find that because I wasn't sure where they were going with this. So
ballsy of them.
Yeah, we have Magnus and Xavier having a conversation at the bar there. They both work at a psychiatric hospital in Israel, then that treats Holocaust survivors in the 1960s here. And so they're having a conversation, and it's kind of a neat conversation where Xavier and Magnus are talking about mutants, and Xavier pretty much tells him by telepathy that he's a mutant, and then Magnus just says like, "Well, metal it's bends to my will," and so they're both sharing that they're mutants, but Magneto or Magnus says like they need to hide that because when Xavier first mentioned it, he says like you should get far away from here and hide that, and because humans are not accepting of mutants. And so I just wanted to hear your general comments about all this as we start getting into this beginning of this episode with these two. Anyone?
I thought
Bueller?
I really like, just in general, I like the dialogue, the interaction between the two characters, showing them back when they were becoming friends or when they were more friends, because you spend a lot of time in the X-Men series and in the comic books seeing the modern day version of the characters, and you always hear about their friendships and like all this kind of stuff. So it was kind of nice to go back and just see this glimpse that will set up something that happens later on in the episode, and that's a perfect setup. But just see the interaction between the two characters, how they're kind of coming together, and this instant bond that they get. Because if I saw it correctly, there weren't a lot of mutants at this time, right?
That we at least that we know.
Yeah, not a lot known.
It wasn't like a big thing,
Yeah.
right? So this was a very small club at this point, So this is instant bond between these two characters that happen to be working in the same spot, oddly enough.
And where is this? Israel or
Israel?
Yeah,
That's what I thought. Okay, that's what it was in the comics too.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. I've loved the dialogue between characters in this entire series. They've done just very good interaction with it, and so I mean, there we go. We're jumping into it, but yeah, I liked it. I dug it.
Yeah, because like he starts hearing Rogue, he hears her voice, and Xavier says, "Welcome to your mind, Magnus," and Magnus is right away. He's like, "This is a violation," and Xavier is like, "I'm declaring war. You declared war against mankind." And where, like in the beginning, we're at the bar, they were talking about this dream of coexisting with humans, and Magnus is just kind of like, "Yeah, it's a dream." Xavier, the reality is humanity doesn't want mutants in their society. And then, we get to this part where Magnus realizes he's being kind of trapped by Xavier here, but he doesn't have his memory. And Xavier wants him to restore the damage done to Earth here. And I see there was a super chats. Hostman, what's up, buddy? Thanks for the $5. Magneto is tonight's case of writer's barely disguised fetish.
I didn't read it that way, personally.
I don't know if I really took it that way either, to be honest with you.
Depends on what he means entirely, too.
That's true. I have to clarify that a little more.
What's up, Lover?
Yeah, please give us specific details.
In super chat form.
Yeah, I'm not for free. Yeah, we got to pay
$50 or higher.
Yeah.
Grift.
And like always, guys. Sorry. Always.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Flip a coin. Who speaks first?
I was just gonna say, one thing I just quickly, thought of in Genosha or the Battle of Genosha, right? Colossus wasn't really that big of a player, and if this is the last episode, it's the finale of that. Maybe Bo was like, well, if Colossus didn't play that big of a part in Genosha, then there's no point in having him in the show for this season. Maybe next season, but not for this one.
He wasn't even in Genosha.
He was. He was the one that was helping Magneto, with his catatonic state.
When?
He was
in Fatal Attractions, right after Fatal Attractions.
Oh, in Fatal Attractions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about in the show.
I just want to point out this conversation, like the dialogue is absolutely amazing. Like Matthew Watterson, dude, like you killed it as Magneto here, because like this line right here, what happens to mutants in a blacked out world, and then the line right after, hopefully I can get it. Evolution thrives in dark.
That was really good.
Yeah, I was just like, that is a dinger of a line right there, and that hits Xavier pretty hard.
It was great to see that Xavier had to really work to break through Magnus's thought process and mind in this entire episode, and it was very dramatic and intense the way they did it, with the storm outside happening as well, the bar getting flooded later, and like all this kind of stuff. I thought it was really brilliantly done to take place this entire conversation in Magneto's mind. And we see later just I said this before in earlier episodes, the love that these two characters have for each other, friendship wise, but the love that they have for each other. And what Xavier is really trying to do is help. Yes, he's trying to get Magneto to snap out of it and save the world, but he's honestly really trying to help Magneto work through these issues.
This is offensive.
Well, he sees him. Yeah, he sees him as family.
This is offensive. Truly. No one is twinkier than Vaughn.
Oh,
yeah. This is offensive. No.
Yeah, for $2, Magneto looks twinkier than
that is Vaughn. Offensive. Come on now.
That is offensive.
Vaughn and
thank you, Hostman.
I got you, Vaughn. Don't worry. I liked this scene just because it did get to show their history. I don't know how the hell you do Magneto if you don't constantly have, like, his backstory is pretty important to a time. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, what are they going to do in the future when they modernize it? They're going to have to come up with a new one. But yeah, like to see this, like to see them as friends, even if it's not. You get an idea that this is a real thing that happened once, and this is an echo of that where they're having this. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if. Oh wait, never mind. I was about to say something sounding excited for.
Oh, no,
let's say in a plane of reality where season 2 was going to be good, written by Bo DeMaio. It almost would make me wonder if they would revisit this, because for those of you that don't know, how they met was basically through helping this woman. This woman would end up being the mother of Charles Xavier's hidden child, Legion. Was Legion ever in the original show?
No.
That would be cool. That would be
that horrible TV show. Well, the TV show is all right, but not.
The live action.
Season 1 was pretty good. Season 1 was good, and then it just went downhill after that.
House of Dragon did.
I was gonna say Shadow King was amazing.
What I appreciate about this animation is the face-off between these two. Like, it really brings out the intensity of everything, and like, he's like Xavier's threatening him to bring back the power back to Earth, and or else he's going to attack. And he just finally lunges at him and attacks him with his telepathy here, and just kind of crushes Magneto here. Like, it's great animation, great dialogue. Like,
and again, it was intense.
Really, really.
You know, even though we know the story that it's all based on and kind of what they're going to do with it, so not too much of it was a surprise. Getting into these episodes, they were so well done that there was enough intensity, and they pushed the envelope just far enough to make you wonder. To make you wonder what was going to happen next. And it really caught the attention and got you on the edge of your seat. And seems like that was, we're inside his mind is kind of calm. It gets a little bit darker, and then boom, we pull right back out into the intensity of that fight that we left off in the last episode. Just so well done.
This is where I Deadpooled and was like, montage. I knew we were going to get a bunch of fucking cameos.
Well,
so
and also, and they're good, and well done. But before that, I want to say I'm confused because the last episode. So the last episode, it was the helmet on Professor X. It seems like, and again, this is a very comic book thing to do, where because I was expecting we weren't just going to see a freeze frame, we're going to actually see it pulled out of Wolverine in the next episode. I was also surprised that in between episodes, somehow Charles gets his helmet removed and is now winning. We don't see them get back that control. He's already in control at the start of the episode. That was
he never had his helmet at the end of the last episode.
No, but I'm saying, all right. So Magneto's helmet
was
just
open the door.
Xavier.
No, I completely get what you're saying. I kind of like that storytelling though, because it misdirects the audience, right? So we think we're in a flashback when the episode starts, and then it turns out no, we're not. We're actually in his mind.
It was cool.
So I like that kind of just. It was they didn't show us what happened, but they just kind of put us into the scene.
No, it was smart writing. It was smart writing. I like it.
This is cool, but I just don't like Iron Man's suit here.
I never liked this version of his suit. I'll be honest with you, but it was really cool to see the 90s versions of his characters.
When I was a kid, this is what was on TV. This is the action figure I had.
Right.
The extra head, the helmet came off.
But you know what I like is you could say what you want. You could tell that Bo was like, I get to choose the Iron Man suit, and he chose the one he wanted.
He chose the ones from the fucking shows.
Yeah, this was the period. This was, especially.
The shows. That's right. I forgot about
that. That's what I'm saying. They showed up in Secret Wars, all of them, in the same way. Even T'Challa, I'd love to see if that was
but
the
even
same
then,
voice
he could have
actor.
changed it because time has passed.
But he did. It's almost like he was respectful.
Yeah, I love the Daredevil cameo here.
I would love an animated series of Daredevil. I'm not gonna
lie. It sucks to the point because we saw so many cameos in the show of different characters to the point where we're always saying like, oh man, they need to make, a new Spider-Man. They need to make the Daredevil, bring back the Avengers, do a pun, like all this kind of stuff is really cool to see these characters and makes you want it. And we're probably never going to get it. So that does kind of suck.
Well, they say they are working on they did say they're working on a secret Marvel animated series.
Yeah.
I think it's the Spider-Man.
I do think
what's up, Copa?
Yeah. I'm going to cry if it is Spider-Man.
I think it's.
I think it's definitely Spider-Man.
It's not Spider-Man. Sony.
No, shut up, Jay. Don't break it for me. Don't ruin
it. Own him with facts and logic, Jay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Spider-Man just because they're already making another Spider-Man animated show.
Yes.
They could double up. That is possible, but I think they're going to diversify their animated studio and not just do Spider-Man twice. I think they'll do something else.
Stacy, maybe? Gwen Stacy?
Gwen Stacy.
Honestly, I'd be down for that.
Who would be the most underwhelming character they could give a show?
Like I didn't hear that.
Squirrel Girl.
Valerie Cooper solo show.
I just want to get to this part where Bastion, and I just quickly skimmed through it, but he just like his dialogue as well, his monologue here, like is poetic, isn't it? The inavailability of my vision. Even now, Professor Xavier must pave the path to my dream in order to honor his own. A dream as crippled as its dreamer, built to die. I was just like, holy shit! Like. How to set up a villain properly, like
I don't think they're gonna have good dialogue going forward. I mean, and I could be wrong with that, but I think that they nailed it so well in this series, and the depth of speak that these characters have with Magneto, with Bastion, with Xavier, with all, like there's just some epic moments that was mature beyond a kid's cartoon, right? Which is why we say like this wasn't designed for kids. Kids can probably enjoy it, but this was designed for the more mature X-Men lifelong fan, and they really put some effort into the dialogue, and I really respect that.
Yeah, it's as a kid, I'd be like just like excited just to see the characters and not really worry about the dialogue.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I'd be like more fighting. This is it's funny how this one's kind of built for like older audience.
Yeah, like
X-Men
Huntsman's
fans.
saying, it's rated TV 14. Yeah, it's it's mid-teenage and up, and that's good. They added a lot more that the older fans, the 42-year-olds like me that grew up on the original series could get into this more than just nostalgic watching a different version of the 92 series set in 97. So like that was one of the things I absolutely loved. Again, intensity. These monologues that when the characters are all subdued and Bastion's going off and just doing his monologue and talking was very dramatic, very intense. It pulled you into the show and got you right there. That's kudos to Bo and his team for doing that.
And Bo has a writing style that it is different from Claremont's, right? But you could see just the way he weaves words and ideas together that he did pull from it. And obviously it's different and it's distinctly Bo. I will say Bo, I think, has his own writing style. I'm not just saying, but you could tell that he didn't just read the comics, he read the way these characters spoke. And it feels consistent with it. Whereas honestly, even with Storm, they have the same voice actress, but she has in my opinion, better voice. We talked about this in issue 1, where she's like, Arctic winds! And now she sounds like a human being, She sounded like, and not to discredit the 90s series, but the reason I didn't finish it was because most of the time, honestly, at that time when I actually was diving in, I was reading the comics, and I'm like, they sound cartoonier in the show.
And that's the purpose, it was made for kids.
No,
so
I get that.
The dialogue and the how they acted, the vocals and everything was much more for kids. Yeah,
right.
And that's why this hits so well, is because the kids now are growing up. We're all adults now, and so we get a little bit more sophisticated dialogue and story. It was a great direction to go instead of trying to make this a straight kids sequel.
Bo was he was born to write comic books. I would love to see him write.
Don't worry. The editors would throw him off the book as soon as he starts cooking too, I think.
Yeah, well.
Pray I'm wrong.
We're getting here where Bastion is talking about the future's tide, and Sentinels arrive, and he smashes the mnemonic scrambler that they tried to place on him. What's his sometimes look like after he's done here? He's going to dismember the rest of the body that he has in the bathtub.
Do we have a missing panel member? We don't.
After I violated.
Phil did tell me he was going to watch the show but couldn't make it tonight. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you, Joe?
No, I have no idea where's that.
Yeah.
No. You might not hear from him in a little while, but it's okay.
This part right here where Jean Grey tries to hit him like emotionally, and he says like, did you just try to appeal with my humanity? I'm like every line that they're like putting out here just hits so well, especially for its characters sometimes, and when you're trying to force like some kind of dialogue on a character, it just like doesn't work really well, or the voice actor doesn't portray it very well. But like this series, it hits on all marks. Like for me, it's very well done.
Great casting. We talk about the voice actors all the time, but the guy, I don't know his name, but the guy that plays or does the voice for Bastion is just it's really perfect. When you look at the visual of the character, and then just the way that he speaks is never really intense as far as loud and angry, but it's intense with the delivery, the calm, psychotic, if you want to call it, delivery that he gives is very intimidating. It's perfect. He became one of my favorite characters after they really started to focus on him in the second half of the season because of the vocal actor.
Yeah,
Needed more Wolverine. It's my only complaint. I wish they had found a way to get the metal or adamantium ripped out of him in this episode, so he could have done something in like the coolest shit of the series. But
Right. Yeah.
I get it. It was more the original team, even though Jubilee and Sunspot will glow ups.
Bastion was done by Theo James.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
homeboy.
Theo
From,
okay. I
Yeah,
the gentleman,
Gentleman,
and
the gentleman.
Divergent and all that shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Good looking dude too.
I think
Good actor too.
I think, yeah, I mean, Bastion, again, I think we all talked about this. A character a lot of us missed, but we were sold on. Like, I didn't even know who Bastion was before
Same here.
this. I was
Yep.
sold on him. And I my one complaint was, but he doesn't seem that intimidating looking. And, they gradually ramped him up in this episode. And
I thought the same thing too, because I started seeing people speculating about the show and be like, "Oh, this, Bastion's coming." I'm like, "Who the heck is Bastion?" So I had to look it up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting." And the way they did it, he became such an intimidating villain, especially in these last, like this episode right here was fantastic. I love this end fight, especially between him and Jean coming up.
You want a good Bastion run? Go read X-Force. He's scary.
Yeah.
in that. He's scary.
Which X-Force? Are we talking OG or are we talking...
Clayton Crane's run.
Okay.
Again, another great line. Thus, to protect humanity, I must protect humanity from itself. And again, like just hitting. And then we see Black Panther. But this isn't Black Panther. This is actually the Dora Milaje. It's the personal bodyguards of Black Panther.
Well, I mean, Black Panther's in the suit, and then the Dora Milaje is right there, bald. Yeah. I think that's Okoye, right?
Yeah. And we start to see we see the Alpha Flight. We see
why is Psylocke with the Alpha Flight?
Alpha Flight? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
And Cypher are with Alpha Flight here. We got
It's Canadians. That's why. Wouldn't you?
Maybe they're just all grouped together because of the Genosha disaster. People are just kind of in similar areas.
I just want to point out we have a special appearance by Zack in here. He's in the back here. He plays Puck. He's right there. In the back.
Oh, Jay. Oh, come on.
Dude, also, I gotta say, Psylocke, I rewinded you cake in this show. I'd say cake.
Hey yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, no screenshot of that, Jay. A missed opportunity.
Come on now.
We'll get one for later.
Damn,
Right
Jay,
there?
you had me
Yeah!
thinking.
We won.
See,
Why couldn't you
people
have done that to
complaining
Rogue?
about what they took from us in the flat ass Rogue and all this stuff. Like there was some
Hey, Zack.
there was
That's
some
the
guy
fucking
here,
line.
That
Zack's
puck cake.
been doing
The puck cake is
squats.
good.
Yeah,
he works out.
They give it. They give
Never
it.
missed a
Look
leg,
at the
Jay.
ass on that. Yeah, Zach must work out.
You must work out.
They had to take it. They had to take it from Rogue and give it to them to keep it balanced.
That's
You
one
got
of
hairy
that's one of the
shoulders, bro.
best booty shots of the entire series. And I gotta say, for a character like Psylocke who wore basically a thong in the 90s, that's pretty damn as close as you can do in a Disney cartoon, I would say, without really
I
showing them
agree.
butt cheeks. So kudos, Bo.
I
You're the man.
We got.
We love you, Bo.
We got
Yeah,
one, boys.
shout out.
Yeah, we got
Zach,
a
you been
little-
lifting, bro?
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
Jacked
Well,
up.
After all that speed drawing, he's getting ripped.
he's got the puck cake going on there.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, new nickname? Puck cake? Puck cake.
Bro,
And then we get to
like
this scene here. Bastion just antagonizes Nathan or Cable, and just was asking how many times did he try to stop him and fail,
Mhm.
Oh, this was
and talks
brutal.
about his bastard, like his father, and he called him a bastard. Like gave up, they both his parents gave up on him, and then Sinister releases him to answer, and Cable says like 200 times, and yeah, it was just like you get like the tear rolling down his eye. I was just not ready for that. I was like, because Cable doesn't show emotion at all, and to him to have a tear,
Brutal
flowing down-
lines, man.
yeah, like
Brutal lines.
how's
I
your
love it.
mummy, Sebastian? And like she just like
This is-
died.
I gotta
Died
say
like-
this. I've been reading the early Cable stuff, and I'm iffy on him. But this show honestly made me love Cable because they
I've
really
always loved Cable's
tied
character.
in on the family. Well, I think part of why is because the early stuff he's so mysterious, and it's the family dynamics. They go so far into it that I love it. Like that, it's like he's crying over his mother. He has great relationship with Cyclops and Jean. You could tell they're really trying. It's yes. I think so. For as good as you can have, given the circumstances.
I want to address
Oh.
this. I want to address this, and I think you nailed it because when we talked to him, again, Bo was adopted. I bet those lines came down deep down. Absolutely,
You're right.
I believe that. He even mentioned it on our show, a lot of his life that he kind of put into there. Because I asked that question about like, did you take any personal issues that you've had growing up and put it into this? And he goes, I did snippets and kind of mentioned some of the stuff. So.
You see, and that's the way you do it to the benefit of the show, where you take stuff from your own life that you can pour the emotion in, so you can write through that,
including
without
being
changing
gay,
the characters,
which I
right?
always pointed out was very applicable to being an outsider and coming out as a mutant, coming out as gay, blah blah blah. They were all always lined up.
It's different than changing the characters to fit you, putting you into the show. It's just taking moments and beats from your life and putting them into the characters and making it work within them. And that really, you could pull the emotion, and that's why, the show is so damn deep when it comes to the drama and the emotion. Vaughn just brought it up too, the family aspect. This last episode, the scene that we're going to get to here probably in a little bit, beautiful. It had me welling up a little bit with just being a father myself and just thinking about that whole aspect with the conversation they have. But we'll get to that. But yeah, just great stuff.
Yeah, Jay Goodwin, I think he just captured what we were trying to say here perfectly. There's a difference between writing life experience versus attributes. And that's why I have him on the channel. He's a smart guy. Yeah. We got 213 people watching. I appreciate everyone watching. Thank you so much. Please hit that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. As we go over this finale episode, and hopefully our guest shows up soon. So,
Cable makes that outfit work too.
Yeah.
I know it's a hand-me-down, but
and then we see the rise of the Phoenix.
I did not expect this.
No,
and it was a very shout, jump off the couch moment when I was watching it.
And what she does here, like I was just like, oh damn,
she phoenixed.
She's a mother.
Phoenixed.
Yeah. She's like, Hank is right, and then she takes Bastion, slams as he's trying to escape like a pussy, and places the mnemonic scrambler on him, and then grabs Sinister. And this scene right here,
it's so good.
Does this happen in the comics? Because this is pretty
Mega
dope.
Red. Forgot you made that cameo.
Yeah,
Omega Red. This is Crimson Dynamo. I mentioned him earlier.
That you were talking about.
Yeah, and I got him confused with Red Guardian.
I remembered him looking more Iron Man-y than.
Well, he was always an Iron Man villain.
Yeah.
And there's Polaris.
So that is Polaris.
Polaris. Why is she with the commies?
And why is she wearing that costume?
Well, that's
choices
were
made.
What it says. Yeah,
I never seen that costume before.
So
I haven't either.
They stayed with the president.
Did Scarlet Witch make an appearance in this?
No.
We got Cloak and Dagger though.
I know we got no, but I'm saying we got Morph turned into Quicksilver at one point in time. I was like, you could add all of Magneto's.
I think.
Yeah,
right. That would have been interesting.
Good call.
Yeah, this was pretty terrifying. I mean, you know,
where she takes all the DNA.
It's not Polaris, it's Darkstar.
Darkstar? It says
Polaris. Okay, good. I was just going to say, it didn't look, because Polaris has green hair, and that was a blonde chick.
Oh, okay. Scarlet Witch shows up at the end on the poster board with like the missing.
Oh, okay.
And it says that she's off-world on the poster. That's where she shows up. Because I swore I saw her. But that's where it was from.
I'm chasing her imaginary kids.
Yeah, dude.
To Tim's talk comment in there, talking about Jean can somehow tap into this with no explanation. Rubbish. They didn't really give an explanation, right? They just kind of showed up when she needed it and then just took off.
As a normie, I just took it once a Phoenix Force, always a Phoenix Force.
Yeah,
I was a little confused on that myself, but it was cool.
Traumatic moments,
it's very much a Deus Ex Machina, I will say.
Yes, but
not saying that's inherently bad.
Earlier on,
but it is kind of like she gets out of it. It's cool, but it's also like, and then it's not really used again. Which is both a blessing and a curse. So I'm not sure. I think it's an epic moment, but if you want to say, hey, it's a little cheap, I wanted to see them work for it more, I wouldn't fault you. I could see it going both ways.
I agree with you on that. But yeah, it was an epic moment. Like it was.
What if he was like, I got 15 minutes left. What do I do?
Phoenix
Force.
Phoenix,
I
let's go.
did want to see them. I do think they kind of beat Bastion a little quick.
True, very true.
Well, I mean, the Phoenix is going to do that, though. You know?
I mean, the Phoenix is.
But
like,
this isn't the
not
end of
even
the fight,
Avengers
though.
can
We
take
still
out
got
the
some stuff to
Phoenix
go.
Force.
Yeah, we got a long ways to go here. Like she rips out all the stolen DNA out of.
Yeah, I love this.
Sinister.
That was awesome. Yeah.
Like I was like, damn, she
Yeah.
really went to town on Sinister.
She
here.
messed him up.
Well, you're screwing around with her kid. He's gonna. You know,
I love this dude where he's just like,
yeah.
looks the same to me.
He looks the same to me. Yeah. And then we see all the Sentinels kind of crash, or like the power's back, and then Bastion arises, and then another incredible scene here.
He said a lot of things, by the way. He said a lot of things outright. I was like, wow, they really went for that monologue, huh?
Yeah.
Death marches. Like,
yes.
It's good. It's a villain with a capital V.
Yep.
And that's just fucked up, ripping his arm off, beating him with his own arm.
Dude, he looks so cool.
Yeah.
What a disrespect to beat someone with their own arm. It not be fun. Like, it's funny, but it wasn't funny when it was happening. Like,
oh, this is a powerful line. Go back, Jay.
This one, but instead I killed Genosha in 4,621 seconds.
Yes. Like that was a brutal line right there. Like that's some devastation.
Yeah. I mean,
don't worry, we won't hold that against you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, this guy, he comes in, he immediately knows everything. Love it.
Yep.
Well, not only that, he uses.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
He uses his arm to become this new Bastion, the Death Bastion.
That's right.
And it just takes all the.
I forgot about this.
And it becomes Bastion / Death.
I was a little confused, but when this, because I just watched it, because I was like, oh, he took the powers is what I. But yeah, what's he exactly
just keeps
doing?
Upgrading, which was a really cool concept, and I don't know Bastion's character except for this
Banksy
show.
Said it. The arm contains the body sliding technology that may be what causes them to be flung throughout. Fair enough.
Yeah,
he absorbed the arm with its powers. MacGuffin, but still.
But I love the evolution of this character from the first time we see him to like this point. You know, he just keeps getting more and more.
I feel like he ripped it off. Like he didn't twist and take it off. Like
he ripped it.
Winter Soldier. He fucking just ripped his arm off.
Yeah, it was man. And this line, I will tear the rock from the heavens and hurl it to earth. Like he's on a mission
flowery,
now,
but it sounds cool.
A quick extinction.
I was just gonna say, because that would destroy the planet.
Yeah. Like so he's on a mission now to destroy everything. And then we're back to Rogue putting
again the stakes. Steak. Did you say steak? The stakes that they put into the show, like these are some heavy things. We're talking about the destruction of the entire world, not just some of the loss of a battle. I mean, like we've gone so far now to the point where it's just like it's all or nothing. It's either stop it or everybody in existence in this world dies. Like those are some heavy stakes
same with Professor X doing what he did. Like he broke all his rules because he gave him no choice.
Yes.
All or nothing.
Yes.
It's like when all those cows wandered into the marijuana field. The stakes could not be higher.
Yummy.
This is where we Magnus has completely lost his memory of everything. Like who's Magnus? And Xavier realizes he has to bring him back and restore his memories. Again, some great lines in here. And then we get Cyclops checking on Wolverine, and the comment he makes to Wolverine.
Yep.
Yes. One back here. See if I can grab it.
Oh, so do you have the one about Jean in there?
It's in later on in the elevator.
Oh, is it? It's not in this scene? Okay.
No,
I thought it was part of
Don't
that.
you dare break her heart.
That one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And then he says, be the best at what you do. And he says healed.
Healed.
That's so fucked up. I don't like
Oh,
that you want
yeah.
to bang my wife, but I'll use it to.
See, I didn't take it like that, though.
But she'll be really sad if
It'll
you
be
die.
really sad, and I'll have to deal with it. So
See,
don't die.
I don't take it like that in that aspect. It's,
The
you know,
cup chair will be quite lonely.
I don't take it.
I don't
but that
take it
is
in a
what it
sexual.
is.
I don't take it
Dude,
like
that
in
was
a
a good
sexual
line.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's that,
I got
it's like
that too.
regardless, you know, like the character of Jean and Logan have a connection. You know,
Yeah, that's
at
what
least
I
a
know.
very, very deep friendship. And Cyclops realizes that to the point where if your wife had a best friend and that best friend died, it's going to hurt your wife.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but
He's
that's
gonna
not what
do
it
it.
is. No, Joe, I
Wolverine-
recognize all of that, but also the reality is he knows, even though they're bros, by the way, and I don't think Wolverine would cheat on her with him. He even got
No,
the
I definitely
opportunity
wouldn't. We
kind of-
saw that earlier.
Yeah.
It's just funny that is sort
I
of
mean, he
like
might kiss her.
my
Yeah,
wife
people,
would be upset
dude,
about that.
people play up like as if Wolverine and Cyclops hate each
No,
other.
they're friends.
It's like,
They're
no,
friends, I know.
It's like
Hey,
they've
what's
had
up?
scuffles.
What's up, Munib? Thanks for
But
joining
it's
us.
honestly though specifically, I'm going to be honest. The Wolverine fans that hate Cyclops specifically, it's very one-sided.
Yeah.
No, you know. But it's also I didn't realize until you guys mentioned it that they were actually putting the metal back in. I thought he was just healing. Like it's totally
is that what
back
they were
in.
doing? I thought
Is
he
that
was
it?
fucking.
Who
No
said
way.
Or is that wrong? Or am I wrong?
said
No,
that?
you were
I think you were
absolutely
wrong.
wrong.
Okay, I'm
I
wrong.
think,
All
I
right.
think you're wrong. In that. I
Fucked
think
up.
it's
No,
Yeah.
because I think they're going to be going in the Bone Claw direction after
Also,
this.
I want to
Question, though,
say that
What took so
real,
long?
real quick, I want to say Ebony brought up a point I was thinking when they were like, your real name, Eric Lencher, but what is your real name? I actually thought they were going to go further back into his past and say that his name was Max Eisenhart. Because for those
Yeah.
of you that don't know, what it is Eric Lencher was the name he took on after he survived Auschwitz.
Are you
Right.
dead naming
okay.
Magneto?
And
My
then, well, kind of is his dead name. And then Max Eisenhart is so basically it was like Max Eisenhart went into the concentration camp, and Eric Lencher came out. Is basically what it is. Is he wanted
Yeah,
to
I actually didn't
reinvent
know that.
himself?
Cool.
I
He
did not
wanted
know
to
that either.
reinvent himself. If you
Good
read
info.
Magneto Testament, that's what it is. Is basically because they wanted to condense it. Is so Max Eisenhart, the Eisenharts are killed, and then when he comes back, he wants to take on a new name, start a new life, and that's Eric Lencher. And then when that new life falls apart and his daughter is murdered, that's basically when he becomes Magneto.
I
Can you
learned
explain
something
it
new tonight.
one more time, though?
I think it's really cool that Cyclops is up with his Pornhub, letting watching Wolverine and Jean go at it.
Can't go a
I think
single
that's really cool.
episode.
Yeah,
Vaughn,
Go a
explain
single
what
episode.
takes.
yeah. It
Explain
shows
what
how
takes Wolverine
modern
so
he
long
is.
to heal.
You can't see, but I did just roll my eyes. So I'm gonna clarify.
Yeah, me too.
Your
You can't see
eye.
him either, but I'm saying like I thought it was a great line, and I felt it not because of your guys' weird fetishes.
Well, we
Yeah.
see
I was
Jean
thinking
Grey.
about the characters because I'm a normal person, but
That's
you guys
right.
can view it however you want.
You are
know?
not.
Jean Grey talked to Scott here, lets him know that they put the scrambler worked on Bastion, but and then she shows Nathan to Scott, and he's pissed. He sees Cable, with
Yes.
no arm, and then all of a sudden Xavier enters the scene, and they have a three-way, and Xavier's psychic attack
That
shattered
is not
Magneto's
how I
psyche.
interpreted this scene.
Three-way call.
Oh,
Three-way
okay.
call. Three-way.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
Xavier's psychic attack shattered Magneto's psyche, and it's the possibility that they can both lose their minds if they don't get out in time. And then we just kind of move on here, and then and then we get to Jean tells Scott Bastion intends to bring the Asteroid M down to Earth, and
I just can't imagine Jean Grey ever putting on the Marvel Girl costume again, like in adulthood. Like it just
It's
I know-
sexy.
You can't imagine
I
it.
don't know
I
about
can
that.
imagine it.
I
Imagine
mean,
it right
I
now.
know, but I'm just saying, like all the character growth. She was very much a damsel in distress when she was wearing that costume.
She needs it. This is her empowerment then. What a chance to redeem it and put new energy
Yeah.
and agency towards
What
it.
about the part in
Or
the
they
dark?
just
I
went
don't
back to
mind
the
it.
headquarters, and that was the only costume
You know,
they had.
it's
but,
funny.
yeah.
part?
It's funny. The first time I saw that costume, like going back and reading the comics, I was like, this costume's kind of lame. And then by the end of the Dark Phoenix saga, I'm like, I love this costume now. Like, might be one of my favorite Jean costumes now.
You should've
It
worn
is
It's
that
the
one.
lamest costume that she's ever had.
No,
Before we move on
more than
in
the
this scene-
original.
The
Before we move on
original,
in this
are
scene-
you talking about the
Blowjob
original
handles?
stupid
What's
pointy
happening
things
here?
on her head?
very
That's
No.
lame.
Okay, let's get
All right,
focused. Let's
before
get back
we
to
before we
Can
move on
can
from the
After
scene.
after parties will be combined.
Shut up. Okay, before we move on from the scene, what is awesome about the buildup they do, they just put in like all of these different elements, right? You know, like you don't just have one thing going on. You know, you got the Bastion thing going on. Now Xavier jumps in, throws a wrench in the mix, saying like, "Hey, I just took Magneto to the limit. We might both die." Jean's like, this is all going on. There was so much happening in this one episode that, again, the writing is so great that it's putting so much on the heroes that you're thinking to yourself, how the hell are they going to get out of this alive? And that's a great, dramatic way of building up this scene throughout this first, was this 20 minutes so far, 30 minutes of the episode? I can't remember where we're at, but
it's like halfway through.
Halfway through, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're only like 16, 17 minutes in.
Are you serious?
Oh,
Let's
okay,
go.
yes.
It's credits.
Yeah.
Well,
so now the X-Men are preparing to battle Bastion, and they see him arriving, and we get to this scene right here where he goes to the core of the asteroid, and this is the battle between Bastion and Rogue.
Yes.
And she flies in, and she just yells, his name was Gambit.
Yes.
And I was like,
so good. Remember it.
Yeah. Man, does that hit. Beautiful fight sequence between these two. It was absolutely the clapping that she does, that Hulk clap.
Yeah, the Hulk
This whole
clap.
scene was epic. Like the animation was fantastic. The choreographing of the fight was beautifully done.
Notice that too. I'm not an animation guy either with the art, but like this was off the charts. Everything I thought looked, and even the stills are art. Like everything in this is fantastic. This whole section, they did a great job of actually, bringing this battle to life. I thought.
Yeah.
Does anyone know if he has like the knockoff Archangel wings in the comics?
I don't know on that one. I don't know if it's just for this show or if that's actually something that's in the comics, but it works.
I just couldn't get over the design. No, it definitely works.
I thought the same thing when I first saw it. I was like, those are absolutely
dark
darker.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Angel wings,
Yeah.
All I want to know is, when is this playset coming out?
The what?
The place.
The figurines, you mean?
Yeah, well, no, not the figures, because the figures
depends on how good of a boy you are around Christmas time.
The right, the Genosha playset.
Oh yeah, that'll go over real well.
Yeah, let's make a Lego set of make a Lego set of Geonosian massacre.
Yeah.
What are you doing in there, Timmy? Oh,
obliterating an entire race, no biggie.
Nothing
in 4,500 seconds. Pure fun.
And then we get see Sunspot come to life here, where he saves Rogue. She's getting choked out by Bastion here.
That's hot.
And you see his power, and it's awesome. And then President Kelly, you get Black Panther here, and he's gonna fire the nukes. They all agree to fire the nukes at the asteroid, which is called the Magneto Protocol.
Now,
does anybody notice
intervention from Steve Rogers here? Because like when he turned his head, like they very much showed that he was like, he's a government agent. He's not willing to go against the grain, but we've seen time and time again in Captain America's thing that he is willing to go against what the government says if like he feels like there's like a big enough reason to do it. Like when he turned his head away, I was like, I think he's plotting some shit right here. I thought he was gonna aid in some way.
Nope. That same thing too is like,
surprised we kept seeing him. Honestly, I thought we'd see him once as a cameo, not go back and forth to him with the president and Iron Man, all that.
And who knows, maybe it's something that will lead to X-Men versus Avengers down the line.
Why do we keep calling him T'Chaka? It says T'Challa, King T'Challa in the
it's his
earlier
dad,
episode,
right?
But I thought it said T'Challa, not Chaka.
No, it's T'Chaka. He's talking right there.
T'Chaka.
Yeah.
Because I was looking too, he even has like the gray sides, and I was like, why'd they make T'Challa look so old? And then
wait, so T'Chaka's still alive?
Yeah,
97.
It's because it's 97, and I guess in this timeline, T'Challa isn't alive yet, or isn't Black Panther yet? At least,
Yeah, which doesn't make sense if they're trying to do that and kind of go with the MCU deal, because Captain America wouldn't have been thawed yet. So
yeah, it's true.
Because in Secret Wars it's T'Challa, but regardless,
I know Bo
guess
said he
it's
did it
T'Chaka
for
here.
a reason, but I can't remember exactly why he said it, because we had brought
Maybe
it
they
up,
told him.
and then that could be maybe he didn't have permission to use
There you
that
go.
character for some reason. That's just what it is, you know.
Yeah.
Can we why are we so insistent on not having T'Challa, man? Come on.
Marvel might have said like this is a character that you can't use in the show.
Great marketing, genius.
Think about it, because he's not an X-Men character.
Saving him for when they jump in the future.
Yeah, but now it's back at Marvel Studios. They shouldn't have that. They should have the whole full gambit at their disposal. You know, but
you would think so, but
but you never know.
It's weird because they have all the rights to the characters, you know. So what's prompting?
Yeah, it's for
them
other
is
reasons.
For that one thing.
I was just gonna say, I think there's other reasons behind it all. You know, regardless.
I like this how their mind space starts to be affected.
I
Well,
love the storm outside. You know, just the
Ew.
The rising of the waters.
Nerd Wars. Ew.
Nerd Wars is here. Oh, Nerd Wars.
Looking like a snack.
All
Thank you,
right.
Nerd Wars.
Who's
Appreciate
getting that?
buddy?
Let's go.
Thank you, nerd.
Let's go.
So yeah, we're seeing this interaction between Magnus and Xavier, and he starts to get his memory back. He starts to remember things.
Zack,
I love this. I mean, the drama between these two characters, of him appealing to Magneto at this moment.
Yeah, well,
and just go ahead.
I think
Jay.
it's I was just gonna say the family. He mentions family, and then he hears he starts to try to remember his family. And then you hear the Nazi marching in the back, and that's where he just all starts to click. Yeah, and he starts to remember how his family was like.
We call that Gooch stepping.
Yeah,
it's a perfect buildup of story beats. You know, when you're talking about, we take a slight break from all the intense drama and action and fighting that's going on with the other characters. Now you bring it back a little bit. We slow it down just a little bit. It's still intense because it's dramatic. But you just have this moment with these two characters, and they do it again a little bit later on in the episode when they slow it down with the Summers family, but it's all within this intensity that's constantly going on. So they're throwing you in and out of emotion throughout the entire episode. Intense, dramatic, get you in the feels, back to intense, I thought it was just very masterfully done with a last. This is what a last episode should be, to a T. I think this was such a perfectly done episode.
What's up, Phil?
There he is.
I really like the.
He's alive.
I like the line where he's just like, "Why can't I see their faces?" And he's just
looking
down at his hands. I love this part of the episode. It's great.
Yeah. They know how to he really knows how to make the create the intensity and the drama for these scenes. It doesn't come out forced. He knows how to do it naturally. Because you're balls deep into these characters. Phrasing, Jay.
Lovely choice of words.
Shout out to the animators too for doing a really good job with the faces.
The goddamn
the expressions in the characters' faces were everything in this series, and they did a great job.
Yeah, very powerful eyebrows in this scene.
Yep.
Well, Magneto doesn't have the mascara as much as
a little bit of mascara in 1960s.
Little guy liner.
The guy liner. It's all right. It's all right.
David Bowie did it.
That's right.
Probably not. So.
Enough said. Yeah, this was intense, man. Thinking about you wouldn't have something like this in the original series.
No.
So are they fighting on the moon here?
Yeah, somebody
the dark side of the moon.
Breathe.
Yeah, you see in the Dark Phoenix saga, the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, but does Rogue not need oxygen? What's going on with that?
She has Captain Marvel's power.
No, she's Captain Marvel power. Yeah.
Oh, right. I guess I thought it was just super strength and flying, not her full fucking taken from a Infinity Stone power that we saw.
That you fool. We're talking Ms. Marvel.
You fool.
Yeah. Ms. Marvel.
They are fighting at the Watcher.
The same
it's his house?
The Watchers have a house?
Thank
Wow.
you.
Because I know in the Dark Phoenix saga it ends with them fighting there. I just didn't know because I thought the Watcher. I didn't realize it was his house. I thought he was just watching them.
That's right.
interesting.
Leopard's
He's
saying
right.
the blue side of the moon
Ebony's
has
right about
oxygen,
the blue side of the moon.
or
The
has
Watcher.
atmosphere with oxygen. Interesting.
I saw the ruins. It's just it happened so quickly. That's why I asked.
Oh man!
These
Again,
this fight
beautiful
scene.
animation.
Yeah.
There are times that the entire series but this episode touches on the quality of animation. It reminds me of like the early 90s or late 80s anime that was coming out that was just miles beyond anything that we had here in the Western world. And it's just something with some of the softness of the light that they would throw on that is almost borderline blurry in some aspects.
Oh, and I'm sorry. What is Miss Marvel's real name?
Carol Danvers.
What is Captain Marvel's real name?
Yeah, but that's not the point.
You
because
fool!
What is happening?
No, I'm not a fool. Because you were
Mhm.
wrong because you said it like an MCU fan instead of like a real big boy who would say
Anyway,
this.
animation was
Fun. Guys, it's not worth
I don't
it.
think that's the fight. No,
It sort of is worth it to explain what the
no,
actual fucking power she has on.
I'm with Ebony here. Like Nightcrawler was kick ass in this scene. I love
Dude. Yes, he
Nightcrawler
was.
in this thing.
Yes, he was, dude.
Well, 'cause-
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Dragon Wise for $2. Hookers and blow, titties and beer. Hail.
Imagine the
Thank you.
fucking twink.
I know,
Saying
right?
like a big boy.
Oh.
Get him,
Balls
Badger.
on this kid.
Get him.
Yeah.
Let the salt flow.
Oh,
Dude,
get it.
I said that and I moved on and he was on that for like a full minute.
Yeah. Don't worry. Badgerines attack when they least expect them.
Yeah.
Twink apocalypse coming soon.
I thought about that sentence for like 2 seconds.
He got quite the fight right here.
Yeah. Like when Scott says something about I don't even remember the line. He says like something about you don't hurt my family.
Yeah, he's pissed. He's
you
a
never
father that's
hurt my
pissed
family
off.
again.
And God,
Great
it's
shot.
so cool that he's letting his optics blast go, but he's screaming while he's doing it. Like
Yeah.
you never see that in the comic.
Like,
Yeah, and what I
full
also
on
like
letting
is-
loose.
is you almost always when he does a blast like that, 90% of the time it's when he takes it off, whatever. It's like he has control. This is him choosing to go ape shit, which I love. I love it.
By the way,
And I'm not gonna lie.
most 90s thing right now is what Jubilee says. I believe she refers to Bastion as a schizoid.
I love it.
Yeah.
That fits her character, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked Jubilee in this episode.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I was talking
She
about
won me
last
over.
episode because I
Yeah.
got confused. I thought this scene was in the last episode, and I was talking about it the last time we streamed. This is where I was like, Jubilee actually, again, the theme of every character had a moment in this series, at least one, some had multiple, where they got to really show out and show that they were more than just a cartoon character sidekick, right? And this was Jubilee's moment. I have to say, for someone that does not like this character and never has, this was good to see. I liked seeing it. I was like, all right, you actually made her a serious threat, and she stepped up here, and I thought it was a great scene.
Oh, I like her motif as well in the music. It starts playing like arcade-esque music.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
Blended well.
Newton Brothers killed it in this.
Yep.
I love how he's just mutilated and he like kind of Terminator-ish.
Yeah.
But he just repairs himself, like the jaw and everything just sets, and it's just like how cool. And the eye, like so Harvey Dent right here. Like
a little bit Two-Face action going
Two-Face,
on.
yeah. Right
Yep.
there.
Mhm.
It's so good. I mean, it's outstanding.
And then Beast, the Gold Team arrive, and Storm.
I love it.
I love it. Great
Yeah.
shot.
Yeah.
And this was foreshadowed earlier when Beast took over that Sentinel. Was it episode 1 or 2 that happened?
No, it was when he was. Oh yeah,
it was episode 1. Yeah.
Episode 1.
But,
Okay.
No, I thought you were talking about when he talks about how he can take over the Sentinels. I think it was like I want to say 5 or 6, where he talks. Him and Forge were talking about they could work with the Sentinels and reconstruct them.
There you go. Yeah, I missed that part too.
Yeah. This shot right here, like That's what I loved about this series. Like the villain was a villain. Like it was like there was no knew right away. Like there was no holding back. Like you didn't.
And he has different forms too. Like he's evolving. He's becoming closer and closer to like what we know as Nimrod. Like he's getting more of the pink color scheme.
We're allowed to say Nimrod still in 2024. Can we say Nimrod?
It's a biblical
It's a
term.
good hunter.
Well, it's a biblical term, but
Is that a word we're not supposed to use?
I'm just asking. I'm just
I don't know.
Jay, did you miss Rogue's booty shot?
Wait, bro,
Rogue
Did
again?
I miss the booty shot?
Them cheeks a flapping.
Yeah, the one just really gratuitous booty shot of Rogue.
I didn't see it.
I thought it was in this episode when she was fighting Bastion.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. Very
I didn't get
disappointed.
those clapping cheeks. Sorry.
Oh, you focused on the story? Come on.
Yeah, and then you're seeing Bastion trying to fight with the Sentinel, trying to lift it, and then
Stay down.
Scott
Or stand down.
finally stand down, fighting the future. Storm agrees with him. She agrees with him, and she says, "What did she say?" Let me bring it back.
Okay, thank you,
stand
Ebony. Yeah.
And embrace it. She says, "Embrace it." Yeah. Gooch skipped Rogue cheeks. He ain't no real. Thanks, good one. I appreciate that.
This was kind of interesting, this scene though, because this is the X-Men in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of the hero motif, right? Where you're trying to appeal to the villain that's done all this horrible stuff and deserves to die, deserves to have the retribution, and because of Xavier's plan of just whatever, what am I thinking of? Words are escaping me. They are trying to appeal to him, in this manner of like, there's a chance, right? There's always a chance.
Start talking about his mother, and and
they
he
make
was talking
mistakes.
about, and then he just keeps talking about humanity's going extinct, and there's just one pickle, and then that's when you start seeing like the missile alert here, as they find out the humans sent their missiles towards the asteroid. It's like
bad timing, humans. Like shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it just starts destroying the asteroid itself, and we see everyone kind of get flying around in the asteroid.
I thought there was going to be nukes. I was like, they're just missiles.
Well, they are nuclear missiles. They're just,
wouldn't one just be enough?
You're not. Well, the size of the island is, what was it? More than a cubic miles. They said a few cubic miles. Which how big is that? That's pretty big. It's enough because they were scared of it falling towards Earth because it would demolish Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of what's going to happen now because they messed up with their Magneto protocol, and they basically have doomed themselves. That's the funny thing. Like they think they're stopping this whole thing with these nuclear missiles or whatever, and they basically screwed themselves now because they're sending this asteroid hurling to Earth, which was what Bastion was going to do in the first place.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the reason that Vaughn doesn't understand this is he's a little younger, so he never saw Armageddon.
I actually have seen Armageddon. Yeah. Nice try though.
Okay. Hot shot.
You were he's a big
3 years old.
Why would it work?
Dude, you're still seething.
Because you got to get to the center of the asteroid to blow it up. Hot shot.
Yeah, I know.
The one line that Bastion said when the missiles were hitting, humanity would rather die.
No,
than
but watching
have
you
kids
fucking
like
giggle
us.
is funny. Sorry, Gooch.
Dude.
No.
Holy shit, man.
Humanity would rather die than have kids like us, and that,
I agree.
Powerful lines again.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're trying to figure a way off the asteroid, and Scott's actually willing to stay to blast it himself.
As a leader,
does. Yeah, as the captain of the ship, he's willing to go down with it.
Yeah, he sacrifices himself for his team. That's what leaders do. Jay,
he's a Chad.
That's right.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That's
I was watching the scene. I was like, how is Jay gonna spin this? How is he possibly gonna spin this to make him seem bad? Like he's clearly trying to selflessly sacrifice, and Jay's gonna be like, I could have done it better.
yeah, I'd win.
Well, that's facts. Like, come on.
Oh,
And
that's why the show. That's why they had to have a new showrunner for season 2 because of things like that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
That must be it right there.
Things like what?
Because they let Cyclops look like that. So sorry, Bo, you're
right.
out.
Well, I mean,
someone
that's
else
typical.
comes in. They'll fix it season 2. They'll come back and fix this too. You're
No,
welcome.
I mean, that's
boys.
what basically Cyclops' history has been. Oh, we got him on track. All right, editorial decision. Now he's off.
Done. Get out of here.
This is the part where they're talking, like Jean's talking to, or is it Jean or Storm? Storm, sorry. And she's letting Forge know that they're going to use the jets they're going to tap into the Stratojets jets to steer. And he's like, no, you could fry the jet. And then next thing you know, they lose communication. And this part right here, another humdinger of
this is it right here.
Man, this
is like one of my favorite moments in the whole series. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I told you, like, I welled up a little bit because it was as a dad, you know, when you just watching a scene like this, you kind of just put yourself into the scene, and here is the last scene of a long lost son. They only had a little bit of time with this reunion, and now they're again separated, and he's possibly looking at death. And this is just that one last, the I love you, son, I love you, dad kind of moment. It was very powerful, very powerful.
Anyone else notice that Cable started referring to Jean as mom?
Yes, and she started referring to herself. It was earlier than that. It was last episode. She started referring to that. I think it started happening, but I saw that. Another thing I do have a question about. They never, because he mentions his dad. They never confirmed that Corsair. I mean, they confirmed that it happened, but Cyclops never found out that Corsair was his father in the original, correct? Or did he? Do you guys remember?
I don't know.
Because first of all, a big misconnection is we never got to see Cyclops and Havoc, confirmed brothers.
They showed Vulcan, but they said nothing about it either. I mean,
this was great right here.
Yeah,
I agree with Mike in the chat. It was really cool. Like this scene where you're able to see the eyes, and you're able to see the emotion. Yeah, both father and son look into each other's eyes, sharing the same eyes, color eyes and everything. This was great. It was really, really good. Really good.
This is a nitpick. It's obviously not that big a deal, but I am curious why they changed it. There's a moment where the visor is taken off in the comics, and Jean looks at it. But she goes, I think he has blue eyes, so I'm curious as to why they changed that. It's a minor detail, but I do wonder why they went out of their way, because they did it with Cable, too. When they go, Cable has brown eyes, I was like, what? I don't know why it's a minor detail, but I was
I'm not sure. Never really paid that much attention to the eye colors. Yeah, who knows? It could just been.
Let me double check that.
Not sure, but no, this was incredibly powerful.
Yeah, this is
beautiful.
Like I said, one of the many moments that makes the show.
When he says "I love you, son," that
yes,
so good.
Yep,
hits, really hits. So yeah, and then we get to this part right here. We see kind of like a news update about the asteroid, and then all the X-Men like Storm, Jean Grey, and Rogue try to slow it down, and hoping that they can slow it down before it enters the Earth.
Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Is that Eddie Brock behind them too?
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, it is.
Is it or is it Flash?
No, it's Eddie Brock. He's always trying to kill Spidey, even if the world's dead.
It is. Sure, it's Eddie Brock.
You're right.
It is Eddie Brock.
No, it's Eddie Brock.
Is that Eddie Brock?
Model sheet. Yeah, it is.
Guys, also, I just looked it up. I was totally wrong. They never mentioned blue eyes. I don't know where I got that from, but she says you have a nice face.
All right, Badger, go to town.
You fool!
Listen, I admitted when I was wrong right away. In fact, I could have gotten away with it.
Yeah, I agree with Ebony Leopard. That's
why am I thinking so long to heal?
It's Flash.
No.
It is Flash?
Yeah.
Oh, because
you can tell by the way he's dressed. He's not dressed like Eddie Brock. He's dressed kind of like a jock.
Oh, what are we talking about?
Plus Eddie Brock. I mean, why would you just be saying?
Kind of had that leather jacket too.
Eddie Brock back there with the Peter Parker.
Isn't Flash Thompson East Indian now?
Well, not in the '90s series.
That's the MCU.
Yeah, that's
It is.
Big boy.
That
Too
is.
big.
You guys-
Yes, that is exactly it.
That's
Still
canon
remember
now,
that.
so get used to it, boys.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Everyone's on. That was Flash. Everyone's saying that was
I
Flash.
got into
Watch
MIT.
out for
agrees
the
with me.
beach.
I know what's going on.
Watch out for the beach is all I'm saying.
All right, whatever.
That was Flash.
Yeah, Flash
Yeah.
Thompson got into MIT, guys.
Wolverine lost his healing
What was it?
ability in the comics after a fatal attraction.
So in that
Oh,
last
did he?
Well, I
episode,
think
even
it's-
though he was fighting, he didn't have healing.
No, he had.
He
it.
still
It was,
has it.
He
It's
had
just
it,
not-
but it's
It's weak.
I
It's
only know
deteriorated.
that because
Yeah.
I
Okay.
actually just read some of those. Like,
I haven't
and
read Fatal
the amount of damage that
Attractions,
he
yeah.
took with the
Oh my
adamantium
God.
being ripped out was extreme, to his body. So I mean, even the healing factor took forever. If
Yeah.
you read the Wolverine issue that came after X-Men 25, I can't remember if was it Wolverine 75, I think.
true.
They have this whole kind of the scene that this is based on in the comics is Wolverine kind of on the verge of dying and going through this mental thing, and Jean being the one that was giving him the strength, mentally or in his mind or in person, I can't remember, but to pull out of it, to fight, to keep from dying.
You're
And
right,
this is
you're
what
right.
they borrowed. They borrowed that idea in this scene, even though it's morph.
Obligatory mention of he's come back from being a fucking skeleton after being nuked in both comics
Yep.
and movie. But yes,
But this
I
is
understand what
way
you're
before
saying.
that.
Yeah,
This is
but
way
this
before
is
that was
before
established.
I know,
when they're.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
Because
Wondering
this,
if they were
this is
actually
before they
right.
made Wolverine the Terminator, where
This
he was
is-
still, he was killed in Days of Future Past, right?
He was, he
Yeah.
was
So-
basically atomized in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
I think another thing, and I personally think that's to the character's detriment. Like even, you'll hear, like for example, there was the storyline where Jubilee first saves Wolverine after he's nailed to the cross. That's like a whole issue of him dragging him around, and now it's like he shrugs off anything. And look, don't get me wrong, those images of Wolverine shrugging off things is cool and all, but I do think that they've ultimately done a huge disservice to the character by just upping his healing factor. So it's nice to see this.
Fair enough. Gooch, this scene, this was the one that like got all the fanfare that Bo outright said that this is, even though it's very clear from the scene, he says, Jean, he's dying, that she goes, she can't say it, but I can, and you can obviously take this two ways, and it was meant to be taken two ways, apparently, even if most people seem surprised by Bo saying that this is Morph confessing his latent feelings, but
I thought it
also
was very
a tactic to keep him alive.
Yeah, I thought it was very self-explanatory
It could be both.
in this situation. Like you set up, I understand the awkwardness of the whole Morph dynamic with the non-binary gay aspect of the character and being in love with Wolverine. We saw the weird cringe scene, funny scene in episode 2 with the shower and stuff. But when I was watching this scene, I saw for exactly what it was, which those two characters, Morph and Logan, are best friends in the series, right? And so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Morph has love feelings for Logan, which is not in return. In this moment, he's turning into a character. And again, go back to Wolverine 75, where Jean was a major factor in him surviving this part where after he got the adamantium ripped up, that this is what Logan needed to fight. Same thing with Cyclops saying, don't you break her heart, do what you do best, heal, all that kind of stuff. I understood it in this scene for what they were doing. Now, the underlining aspect of the confession of love and all that kind of stuff, sure, I get it. Bo himself said that was why, that was Morph saying it. I didn't take it like that when I watched it. And so when I argue with people about it, I'm like, the way that it was presented, I don't care what anybody says after the case, the way it was presented and the way I took it was him doing what he needed to do to help Logan survive and give him that will to fight. And that's the way I see it. And everybody else can argue about it.
It's not an argument. It's because the showrunner said what it was. So it's not some dude retroactively. It's Bo saying what he intended. And if most people didn't get that, then that's a failure on Bo's writing to convey that. I took it exactly the way you said it. All those past reasons and to keep him alive.
Yeah. Yep. I just wanted to I hope everything's okay there, Nadia. Apparently there's
geez.
Wow.
Right.
Shit.
What's going on?
I hope everything's okay there.
It's had an earthquake in Vegas.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I hope you're
a 4.1.
4.1
I hope you are. We just had a 4.1 the other day. Mama,
I don't know.
She's in Vegas. She's all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of that. It's
what's up, Hypnotic? Thanks for joining us, brother. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I took it the same way you did, Joe. I don't think there's a much of an argument, and if people are gonna jump on that, then whatever. But he was doing two things: confessing his love to Logan, but also doing it in a way that comforts Logan.
And I think that was the larger part.
It's not like he leaned over and said, "Kiss me one last time." It was like,
this wasn't a this is a selfless move, but it was also like, let me get this off my chest.
90% selfless and like 10% while I got the chance.
Which it's what I think, and I think it works to the character's benefit.
I absolutely had no problems with it, to be honest with you.
Mama Badgers, didn't even feel anything. Mama Badger's always.
Yeah, and you know what I liked about this series too, because I was thinking about it, is this series, there's a lot of fan service, a lot of whatever. And first of all, it's always a good feeling when people want more of something, right? I wish there was more, even after we got a lot. But I like that we took time with the characters we had. But Bo, because I remember seeing a cameo of Colossus, and really, that's all we get? Yeah. But it works because it's like, I don't want to say he's not missed, but it's like, we were given, these are the characters we're focusing on, and he delivered on all those characters. And I think it worked.
I agree.
Go ahead.
Ebony Leopard says here that, and that's fine. Wolverine doesn't have romantic feelings towards Morph. That's why people they turn Wolverine gay. YouTube videos silly. Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
To be fair, I never made those videos.
No one's accusing you.
There were definitely people that ran with it, and you could tell that there were people that didn't actually really watch the show.
Yeah,
and that was my problem with some of the people that would make videos about the series. That to me was misinformation, because I knew that they didn't watch the show. They got information from secondhand sources, and then they ran with a narrative. And I hate that, because it's dishonest, and I hate dishonesty.
No, I had my issues.
Tell it the way it is.
Explained it. I wanted to go.
We know, Ebony. You're a cool cat.
I want to reinforce what Joe was saying a little bit earlier about Wolverine. And I only know this because I was just recapped on reading some of the stuff, but this moment right here is one of the most extreme traumatic experience Wolverine's ever dealt with any kind of pain. He in going up against the Hulk or whatever. He actually, this is like one of the things that actually keeps him up at night, is what he went through with Magneto.
I can't even imagine.
I like this part right here too, when Nightcrawler's saying prayers, saying the rosary.
Yes,
I like that they're leaning into his Catholic faith, and they didn't shy away from that. Which a lot of modern day entertainment will, because they don't want to offend people. But you know what?
More spiritual.
And you know what I
like? They would have made him more spiritual instead of but they really leaned into the actual faith, and he's saying a prayer, and that's his character. So shout out again to Bo for recognizing the characters and keeping them the way they should be. Despite any kind of cultural backlash that you might get, it was very.
And then we see this
kick-ass thing that I liked. Oh, sorry, didn't want to.
No, go ahead, Vaughn. No, go ahead.
I liked that. I thought that was really solid. That they did that. Hold on, I'm trying to think. I had somewhere. Oh, and it's like I remember because to compare it to recent comics, I remember one time I was like, "Dude, why are Wolverine, Jean, and Scott in a 3-way relationship?" And someone goes, "Don't worry, it makes sense because Nightcrawler encouraged it." I'm like, the devout Catholic encouraged.
Right, exactly.
And I go, "That's your winning argument." And he goes, "Yeah, that doesn't make sense." I'm like, "No, it does not make sense."
And things like that are what I imagine they asked Bo to do, and he said,
"Yeah, exactly." He's
100%.
That's my head canon. Just saying, that's what I.
I think so, 100%.
Previously on Cup Chair.
Yeah, he
now
just
what Jay was talking about. Now what Jay was like one of the coolest endings to.
Yeah.
I mean, almost endings. Like the false ending, if that's what you want to call it. But yeah, go ahead, take it away, Jay.
Well, I love the contrast. We see Bastion come back as death, right? And then we see Magneto come back as life, as a mutant, as life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he saves humanity by this resurgence of Magneto, and he grabs the asteroid with his magnetic powers, and saves the Earth. And I just thought, wow, like
It's such a powerful scene.
Oh,
I mean,
and then they evaporate and they're gone. You're like,
there's
just
one
shout
part
out
in
again
this-
to the score. Shout out again to the score in that scene.
Yeah.
Because the music really carried the
yes,
emotional beats, the intensity, and just the powerful. Just like I wanted to
gotta go
jump
back.
up and cheer when that happened. Like when Magneto started doing what he was doing, I wanted to do it like what the characters were doing in the show and cheering because I was just like badass. That was just
Gooch,
so
yeah.
badass, and the music pulled you in. Just
Absolutely.
man, it was.
Gooch,
It was
you
great.
gotta go back because you had the still perfect.
one?
When they're at the command center and they see the asteroid going up. Nope, it
Nope.
was
The facial expressions are so good, dude.
hold on. Where is it? Right.
Next one, I think. Oh, keep.
Yeah,
there
right
we
there.
go.
So they see this, and some dude in the UN stands up and goes, "We did it!" And it was like, "What did you do?
What do you mean? We?
What
Did
say
you
you
just
get
get
from
threatened by
this?
Magneto?
What paperwork did you do to accomplish this?"
Yeah.
Good job,
Absolutely.
team. It was a good effort all
Yeah,
around.
we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, politicians are a collective. So, like, if one person does it, they go, yes.
Whoa! What? We're not getting politics there.
I'm joking. No, I'm
And then-
joking.
I know.
in
I
the
know you're
logic.
kidding.
Burn it
And
down.
then this was
Burn it all down.
the what the F moment,
Yeah.
And this is why this works so well because
Oh.
it pulled you so much into the scene with everything I just said, with the music, the score, the dramatic aspect of it, and you thinking in your head, like you're ready in your head to go in a different direction and wrap this all up, after, and all of a sudden just boom, this happens, and you're just like, what the heck? You were
I like
completely
the no
thrown in.
signal. The no signal just adds
Yep.
to it. You got the facial emotional drama, and then you got like this no signal. It just adds to the scene, and then it jumps to 6 months later, and we see Forge and all the X-Men here, and you see
Yeah.
Yep, there's
Colossus,
Scarlet Witch.
The days
Colossus,
from the
Angel,
past,
Iceman,
Yeah,
Havoc.
Havoc's
yeah,
there,
Havoc.
alive.
Shadowcat and Magic. Was Magic in the original series?
No,
that I
but she
remember.
was
She was
on Kenosha.
Ileana.
Mm.
She was as a little kid, I think,
So,
with Peter.
but-
Oh, maybe.
So is this going to be a foreshadowing that those characters are going to be specifically?
I would
appearing?
assume. I would
in
assume,
the
'cause
next
look,
season.
Look how badass Colossus looks here.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
I'm
lie.
excited
Yeah.
by Havoc, man, and I thought
Havoc,
Polaris was going to be in
Shadowcat.
season 2
Even
as well.
Iceman would be nice.
Emma Frost.
Except I know what they're going to
Yeah.
do with Iceman.
Yeah.
Oh,
Iceman.
yeah.
Oh, don't.
He's gonna
So-
be waving something.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
it was like the original lineup. Yeah, God. what a
Damn.
reveal
Should have
that
asked
was.
Bo what he thought about Iceman. I would have think that would be great if he was like, "Oh, I didn't like that choice. It was inauthentic."
Well, because
Right?
it was.
'Cause
It
it
was
was.
like
I
because
know,
I was
'cause it
reading some of the older
invalidates a lot.
comics,
That's right.
and I was like, "That's not."
It's the same
Oh.
thing with Tim Drake, but I digress.
Oh,
Callback.
yeah,
Yeah, it was
worth
callback
Tim
to Days of
Drake.
Future
And then
Past,
he-
This
Absolutely.
one
Guy-
moment,
guy
I
had a
actually.
girlfriend
Sneak-
for 30 years.
Yeah, it sort of ruins things when you change
Oh,
20-year-old.
Actually, Bobby Drake was kind of a
Lady
wow. They're
man,
both
a little-
Drakes.
Wasn't he a lady? See how
Yeah,
that happened?
Yeah, no, he was
Yeah.
a womanizer.
Right.
Yeah,
he was.
yeah,
He
and
was.
it was
Like
like
the
it was-
womanizer and swap them around. That's what
Apparently,
they
you
do.
just had latent
Look at the cover.
homosexuality.
Look at the
Who knew?
cover for
Yeah.
X Factor. Hang on, I want to say it's issue 31, and then tell me that character is gay.
While
So now
he's
we get
looking
Bishop
while he's
finally.
looking that up, it's interesting that Bishop comes back after all of this.
Yeah.
I
like the shorter haircut.
see, I don't.
Really? You like the
Oh,
The
I like
entire
the dread.
time,
I like
he
the
never
dread.
had the mullet that I wish
No.
that they had at least shown him in once. His original, Portaccio mullet that was drawn back in the
Yeah.
90s.
yeah.
The mullet, it's kind of a product of its time. I don't know.
I loved
Yeah,
it. I mean, that was
it-
the character. It just
It
looked
really
great.
does make the neckerchief stand out more with his short
Yes.
hair. Like you need the mullet to kind of counteract that.
Yeah.
Hey,
you know?
don't
Dude.
talk about my boy Bishop like that. I love
Dude,
him.
No,
one thing I will
that's what I'm
say-
saying. Like, I love Bishop. I love the
Yes, so
character.
do
I
I.
love the look. That's why I want to see him with his full on mullet. Pull up the handkerchief just a little bit.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
two. Well, first of all, if you want to just show the cover real quick.
I will after. I will quickly go through this and I'll bring it up.
Because all right,
we're
then
almost
can I
done.
talk? There was a comment actually I had on this scene. Then I probably want to mention first because it is relevant to the comics and whatever. First of all, I love Bishop coming back, but I will say
this scene made the whole Banshee thing sting more, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because
Just let your soul
go.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Do you guys know the significance of, if you guys remember, Forge looking at all these missing X-Men?
Yeah.
Is because if you remember in Fall of the Mutants, he was the guy that was like picking up. Okay, no, the X-Men are still alive, and then Banshee had just gotten his powers back, and so the two of them both kind of are like meeting for the first time. Like, we're both looking for the X-Men, and they become brothers in arms. So this, and to the point where Forge is literally wearing that outfit. So it's kind of sad knowing that brotherly dynamic is set up perfectly, and it's never going to happen. But I guess Bishop's taking his place, which I love Bishop, don't get me wrong. But it's sad because it's like they set it up so perfectly, and they had such a good dynamic, those two. And I was hoping we could see that.
I gotta say that Ebony, that was much more of like an '80s look that Bishop had.
Yeah.
It was, with an Asian man created that character in Willis Portacio, and it had a little bit more of that '80s feel, early '90s, right? So late '80s, early '90s, and that transitional period of decades when you were kind of blending the two.
You know what's funny? He was
I love
supposed
it.
to.
That was great.
Bishop was supposed to be Filipino, and then
break it up.
he was supposed to be Filipino. There's interviews of him talking about it, and then editorial said, "Hey, we want another black character." And I was like, "Okay."
And as an 8th black person myself, I dig it.
Are you actually?
Shut the fuck up, Joe.
I think if you do the math, everyone might be an 8th black person.
I couldn't tell if you were doing the bit.
I thought he was just fucking with me.
It's a bit from my show from Out and Stuff. I do have a great grandma that is black, so I'm
and
just
here
like,
here we get to the ending where Rogue
Don't
is
push
in
me, Goodwin.
3000 BC in Egypt. Yeah.
This was great, dude.
This was a cool ending to everything.
Yeah. Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler kicked ass in these episodes, man. I love how they did the BAMF. And we see the team kind of get here. Then we see Scott looking for Jean Grey, and they're in the future, 3960 AD. And they're together, and they get approached by Mother Ascani, leader of the clan Ascani, and then we get another flashback to Beast carrying Professor X. I laughed at that. I had a chuckle.
I didn't even pick up on that. That's funny.
Yeah, and then Magneto arrives, and he asks, "What's your name?" And it's Eben N. Sabanur.
N. Sabanur.
My name is Inseminor. And then
translate
Jean,
the first one.
Yeah. And then we get introduced to
Nathan Gray, right? Isn't that X-Man?
Or
am I wrong?
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you're right.
The kid version of Cable without the virus.
Yeah.
Because wasn't that the X-Man was the version of Cable without the virus?
And this is what I'm talking about when I say the ending, it's hard for me to judge fairly, because I think it's cool and all, but here's all we see. Magneto wakes up. We have no idea how they got time displaced. We have no idea time travel. We have no resolution to how exactly that played out.
My only thought is Bastion.
Can't we? Because he used the fucking Cable's arm.
That's what I'm saying.
is that what it was?
I think it's something to do with Bastion
Yeah.
still.
Okay,
So
I was
Apocalypse
being...
before
All right,
Apocalypse.
never mind.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Rescinded.
Before Apocalypse. And then
Damn.
we pretty much
That's a
see
lot
the
of
ending.
that's a lot of heavy climax.
Oh, it's not Nate
Like, I
Gray,
mean,
people are saying in the chat.
No,
Oh, really?
Mother Ascani is supposed to be Rachel Summers.
I love the little.
Oh, that's what I thought. I was thinking that. I do love
That's what I'd
Rachel
heard,
Summers.
yeah.
One of the most
So much pain.
underrated. One of the most
my
underrated characters. Rachel Summers.
Good,
So much
good
pain.
outro or after scenes. In this.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just the Gambit card.
Oh,
I love how he has the Gambit card in his hand. Like it just.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to see the Horseman
Apocalypse.
Yes,
We're
Queen.
going to
Get
Gambit
it?
Let's
version
hope-
coming back.
Let's hope there's enough
Yeah.
of all of the second season done that they change just enough to do their dirty business, but not enough to ruin the overall.
So-
yeah.
Here's my question though. With the way
Don't
that
give me
it was
hope.
set up, the way that it was set up by Bo to go whatever direction he was going, and then we get the news that they're going to be wearing the the Morrison X-Men costumes. How the hell is that going to work in? Are they going to try to wrap this whole thing up within the first half of the season and then go in a completely different direction in the second half?
So that's what I said. It's
Yeah.
one of the most insulting things that Marvel likes to do is so they'll give us something wonderful like this, and then it'll be a hit because they're using the years and years of continuity that has established this as a very popular IP, and then they're gonna blow through it in the second season so they can get to the woke shit.
Oh, don't do that. Don't.
They will.
And I thought they were going to be setting up for like Age of Apocalypse.
Hey, I hope we're wrong
That's what I was hoping.
I would love to be wrong.
All that the Morrison suits are well after that.
Yeah,
And,
we're just like jumping.
Yeah.
Like this is X-Men 97. They did a
Yeah,
very
now we're
good
going to
homage,
X-Men 03.
honoring
Great.
the 90s stuff, storylines, even touching on 80s things and bringing them together for this season. There's so much other stuff you can do from the 90s, like Onslaught, Age of Apocalypse, all that kind of stuff. You can morph that just like they did this season and put together a really awesome, collage of a story for the next season. But now we're talking about jumping into years later into Morrison's run, and it's just I don't know.
And also, this is maybe the Marvel that is learning, if you believe the Chris Gores and all that. Shout out, whatever. I'm just saying it's basically at worst and at best, they just don't do a very good job, but they don't insert a bunch of shit. They just don't do as good a job as Bo. But that's like giving you hope, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Everything outside of Bo is because again, you got to understand. I love these characters. I adore these characters. But at the end of the day, I have maybe hundreds, thousands of comics I can read with these characters. If they don't please me, I can go there. That's one of the things you got to realize is you got to win. Like Bo, because people like Jay and all of them were saying, no, this Bo DeMaio guy is great. And even just that first interview, these guys are going to sell me on it. It's not X-Men as an IP can be great or terrible. I have read both great and terrible X-Men comics. You can't just be like, oh, it's X-Men 2, season 2. Well, the first one is great. No, we all agree that like Bo made it great. And so that's where I'm at.
If Bo was to come on here and say that some of the ideas that they're putting forth right now were some of his original ideas, I'd be like, okay, I have a little bit more trust in what you're doing. But then I'd ask, what was the thought process behind it? Because this is supposed to be X-Men 97, and he did such a great job honoring the 90s X-Men and then touching into the 80s stuff as well with the costumes. And I see Ebony Lever putting in there that they touched from some of Morrison's stuff, and they absolutely did. And I'm not saying anything bad specifically about that, but when you're talking about bringing them into Morrison's costumes, you're thinking that they're going to be more heavily into those kind of storylines, and now you're taking it out of the spirit of what the show is supposed to be, And yeah, you're right, Morrison wasn't woke, but it doesn't matter that the comic book writers were woke or not. We're talking about modern day Disney, and the fact that the man that just helmed this season was able to honor the characters the exact way that they should be, add a little bit of that stuff in, but not to the point where it pushed anybody out or made too many people upset. I'm worried that is going to now go away. Like that was whatever restraint was there was because Bo was there, because he had a love for these characters. Whoever's taking over, do they have the same love for these characters? I don't know. We'll find out.
I just thought of it. I know exactly what it is. I just cracked it. When did they announce this? Think about it.
D23,
right? Just after Deadpool and Wolverine, correct?
Yeah.
Who was the main villain in Deadpool and Wolverine? Cassandra Nova, who first appeared in Morrison's run. They are just doing whatever. Consume. We gotta promote. It's the same shit they did with Spider-Man 3. Oh, I don't really want to put Venom. It doesn't fit. Doesn't matter. He's popular. We gotta put him in. That's what they're gonna do. Cassandra Nova's popular right now. We gotta throw
Sammy. Sammy,
I may agree with that.
Sammy,
just bouncing off what Joe said, it was like it'll also get to a certain point. It doesn't matter because yes, all of this was kind of an amalgam of a bunch of different things from different parts in X-Men in different times that worked. But if you're gonna start really pushing forward and jumping ahead, you can cover too much ground and you can throw too much in. It can be a jumbled mess. And it was like, and honestly, if you do that, it doesn't matter if Bo's behind the helm or not. Like it was like you can do too much, and it was like it takes a very talented person to walk that line, and Bo was able to do that. But I feel the same way as you. Yeah, I mean, I don't even hate those costumes. It was just that signals to me that you're going to try and cover way more ground than what's going to be allotted to you in 10 episodes.
Yeah. We can say that they covered a lot of ground this season. We did, but let's look at it. I mean, really, there's so many characters they took out. And like I mentioned earlier, right? They showed a lot of restraint in who they didn't include and how many characters were relegated to cameos. Iconic A-list characters relegated to cameos because Bo knew they had restraint. They had, okay, no, I'm going to really give these epic monologues with the few characters we do have. Sorry, fan service. And we got fan service, but I'm afraid that they're just going to see all the fan theories from season 1. Oh, let's just throw all that. And that's what I feel like they're going to do.
Can I say that Ebony Leopard, though? This is all just, this is speculation and worry, which, we're allowed to do as fans. And I'm also allowed to have the right to change my mind, just like I did with this X-Men 97. These are worries I have going into season 2. I had worries going into season 1. Season 1 changed my mind. I am completely open to the option of season 2 coming out and being good and changing my mind. At this point, though, there's a lot of things happening that is making me worry. So presenting that thought process with the wrap up of the review of this season is all I'm doing.
Yeah, and
I do not like the costumes that they chose. I'm not a fan of those. Specifically for the show, I don't think it fits the style of it, and I think it's just going to come off as bland.
Yeah,
especially because every character's costume change is almost built into their arc, and now we're saying, bye-bye.
Perfectly said. Yep.
It wasn't Storm's costume was awesome, but it wasn't just it was like Marvel Girl was, going back to the costume she had back then. The X Mansion was destroyed. We're moving on to this. We're moving on again. We just got here. What do you mean we're moving on again? There's a lot riding against it, and I don't know. I'm very worried about that. I'm glad we got the show that we got.
If they end the season with it, I think I would have less of a problem. You know what I mean? It was like, because they covered a lot of ground in this season. If they cover a lot of ground in the next season, that's fine. But I'm saying there is a limit, and then you can have too much. It's easy to do.
Well, the way the season ended,
all this lore.
The way the season ended makes me think, or made me think, that they would spend some time in the past and spend some time in the future. And so when you're saying that these are costumes that will make their debut in season 2, it makes me wonder if they are going to kind of rush through this part of the story, and it's just not going to land the way that it should, just because they're trying to get to something else beyond Bo's original idea, and the retcon is happening. Because people said that they're going to be true to his
thing, you're gonna know that they phoned it in.
Yeah, if that's what it is, it's like first couple episodes, and then we're moving on to something else.
You're gonna change enough to take Bo's name off of it. They're gonna have to.
Yeah. Well, everyone's like, they came out there like, we're gonna be true to his vision for season 2, but then an article came out, pretty much said the opposite of that.
Yeah, if they're true to his vision, then why would they fire him? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
I'm sure Bo will be very active saying what he was going once it comes out, because God knows right now he's not being active.
I just had a great idea for a cameo in the next season, though. So like Bobby Drake just comes in with a bunch of shopping bags in the X Mansion and goes, "I have something to say," and that's
me declaration.
Well, in the final, we're in the final episode. I thought we'd do another versus here.
Yes.
Can I also just say a theory real quick before we do it?
Sure, Vaughn, go ahead.
I'm gonna theorize as if
Yes.
well played.
I do that.
Well played. I was just gonna ask real quick before we do this. I think what the initial plan was. I mean, think about it. We're doing the hunt for the X-Men, but replacing Banshee with Bishop, and then we're displacing them throughout time. Now, what does Bishop do? Time travels. What does Forge do? He fixes up gadgets, makes them stronger. I think they have that one thing where I could only go one way. Well, Forge is gonna upgrade that shit
and they know each other from the future. We know that for a fact because in the original series that was established. So I think they're going to be going on a time trotting adventure, tracking them down through time and bringing them back together. Is the plan.
I can see that. We'll see what happens.
See, this is kind of a weird argument because there's a lot of X-Men that are Avengers now. So
can I say something real quick? Because it's midnight and I need to jump off because I got to get out of here. I just want to wrap up stuff real quick from my point of view. This episode, I would give a 10 out of 10. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. They nailed everything about it. Action, emotion, drama, just intrigue, the way they left on a cool cliffhanger at the end to set up season 2. Hopefully we'll see what that turns into. The entire series in itself, I'd give a 9 out of 10. One episode here or there was kind of a downer for me, but the entire series was so well done. So shout out to everybody that was involved in making the series and just making the season really, really fun for a longtime X-Men fan and a fan of the original show and somebody that had negative feelings going into the series and was quickly turned around because of the quality of the writing, the quality of the show, and everything that was involved. So that's my quick wrap up of X-Men 97. As far as this goes, I'm just going X-Men because you got Jean Grey, you got the Phoenix. Boom.
Yeah.
That's it.
Joe, thank you so much for being a part of this, brother. I'm sure you're going to be on more streams with me. So
absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. And I'm kind of butthurt that guest didn't show up, but life is life.
It happens.
So, yep. So, take care, bro. I'll be
all right. See you, chat, guys.
Yeah.
You have a great night. Talk to you later. Peace.
Yeah. So we got X-Men versus Avengers, and we're gonna go with the classic X-Men versus the 70s Avengers. So this is set in 78, 79.
Wait, you say classic X-Men. What are we deeming as class? These ones in this?
The Claremont.
The Claremont X-Men.
Well, Claremont X-Men is still there's like 8 different teams.
Can we put Vaughn's autism on pause for a minute here?
I'm asking a question. Who's fighting? That's like me going. Well, it's I want to make sure who's fighting.
I mean, to Vaughn's point, you got Beast on that cover.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
He joined the Avengers in that time.
So I know, but I'm just saying.
We're talking because that's not Claremont's X-Men on that cover. That is.
I'm talking. This is 1978. X-Men.
That's 75.
Avengers.
X-Men wins.
Wolverine wasn't created until 75, dude.
No, he was created 74. No, all right. This is Giant Size X-Men, the team up you're talking about. That's the.
Yes, I'm talking. I know. I'm talking 1978. X-Men and Avengers.
Actually, no.
That was 75.
I would go with.
But I'm saying 1978, dude.
Okay, because I thought you were talking about the ones in that picture. I didn't understand.
You guys know the concept is supposed to be fun, right? It's
fool.
fun
I know.
We're not actually setting a law here. There's no case law to be set from this.
I'm just
there's no judge. There's no jury. We're just talking about it. It's supposed to be fun.
Man, I'm just calm down. I was just asking who
I'm calm. I'm calm. You're yelling. It's a Thursday. Is it a Thursday? Because Thursdays it's more sunny than is it cloudy?
Calm?
Let's just talk about it, Vaughn. Chill.
Can we go back in time and rewind that and see who was more calm?
Yes, we will. I'll go look at you yelling. What date is it?
I'm just
the
wind.
What's the wind direction? Let's just fucking have a fun conversation. It's okay.
I just was clarifying. Okay,
oh my God. We're done. We're good. We're moving on.
Just clarifying. I know.
Just chugging along.
So Banshee is alive and well in this time. That's good.
Yes.
Good.
Painful.
All right. Well, because I don't know the Avengers line.
Oh,
so I'm just trying to figure it out.
shit balls.
All right. So let me go ahead.
Is Captain America a virgin? No.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna quickly add to this who will win kind of thing. My personal money will probably most likely be on the X-Men because I've read all during this time frame. I know a lot of that material going on, and no, dude, you have fucking just Jean Grey being completely unbalanced at that time. Yeah. Her Phoenix Force is extremely honestly, her Phoenix Force would give Thor a run for his money. So there's your balance there, and then you have Hank Pym. He can shrink shit down and stuff, but he was also unbalanced. Beating on his wife, And
Is that
yeah.
a big
it's
beat,
because he
beat.
can't be counted. You can't count on Hank Pym to do what he needs to. Because
You get him to beat his wife, right? Like you
Exactly.
Hank dinner in a
Exactly.
Beats,
hour.
I mean,
beats
like,
of strength, beating my
when you have-
wife.
when you have Vision, so
Thank you,
Vision
Gemma.
is extremely powerful, but then
Gemma.
Storm could fucking wipe half these guys off the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. The only person who would be an absolute game changer in this, I think, would be Scarlet Witch. But at this time, her
She's
power
a
level has
fighter.
not been set up.
No,
And she
it
was
has
the
been.
one-
Or
as,
exists.
as formidable as she's been. But
Yeah.
like, what is
Phoenix
Captain America
alone-
gonna do against Colossus?
I just want to read this super chat. Gemma, thank you for the $3. Here's the bow and my boy Gooch. Thank you, Gemma. Appreciate that, brother.
So at this
Um,
point in time, so
I don't know.
There's no Hulk. Hulk is not part of the Avengers. He Hulk is like, they say he's part of the Avengers, but he's like barely ever with the Avengers in the comics.
But is he with them?
Realistically.
Yeah.
Not in
Is he a
78
member?
either.
No, he's
I
barely
mean,
around.
They classify him as a member, but he's not.
right.
He's
Then he's
never
there,
really
baby.
part. He's never part of the team.
I'm
So-
counting him as there.
Well,
If he's a
there's
member-
been
But yeah,
times
I mean,
where
like,
like
but this is all right. To
he straight up
reinforce-
left the classic Avengers lineup.
To reinforce what Jay just said, Hulk left the Avengers in issue like 3 or 4, right? So from
Yeah.
that time frame, like all the way up to this point, he's nowhere to be fucking found. And
Now I
mean, like,
will
what
say
happens with
original
DC?
team. I think Avengers stomp.
It would be great if we only pulled up the picture of who's actually fighting,
That's
because
what I
we've
was
been
saying.
the whole time
That's-
confusing. So original team versus the Avengers in this picture, I think the Avengers would win. But if it's got Jean Grey and Storm and all that, then the Avengers is pretty much, or the X-Men is going to win no matter what.
So-
They're fucking Omega level.
it's the hold on a second, just to make sure it's because I'm gonna. pull
Yeah,
up-
yeah,
Okay.
our cuz is right. Iron Man was
whatever
a fucking
whatever you
alcoholic
see in
at this
front of
time.
you is the war that is happening. So
X-Men
Wait.
would win
So
You
then
can't
I'm
count it out,
confused.
X-Men
man.
win.
handily.
Iron Man's a fucking
Avengers have
alcoholic.
Vision, Scarlet, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Beast.
a fucking god.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got an X-Men, you got like Storm, Jean Grey,
Yeah, but
Cyclops.
Andrew, you don't have to kill
Wait,
Thor. You
I
just
thought
have
it
to
Am I wrong in
mobilize
thinking
him.
that Storm would smoke Thor?
Yeah, Iceman could just freeze Thor in a block of ice. He
Wait,
could definitely do it to
is this
Captain
the-
America.
I
Not
thought
like
it was
that's
a
never happened
78
before.
lineup.
But okay,
I
but
just
hold
got
on a
told
second.
it was everyone that you see in this fucking picture. So
Okay,
pick
so
the
it's
team on
not-
the right
okay.
versus the team on the left, and who do you think would win?
So
I
it
say
is the
X-Men.
giant size lineup. Okay.
No, it's X-Men. X-Men all the way.
Yeah,
dude.
Moondragon
Fucking
is part of the
stomp 'em out.
Avengers.
Wait, so
See,
then there's-
Moondragon's kind of an outlier. I know she's a powerful
Moondragon's not even an
telepath, but-
Avenger. She's like she's
she's
like
on the
pops in,
cover.
like, an
She's
issue.
on the cover.
Yeah,
She
I
was
know.
on-
I've read this. No, I get
Yeah.
you. I read this. She came like from outer space for like a second. It's just like a
okay. So you got to break it down by strength. So the heaviest hitters on here right now would probably be Thor and Vision. Okay, I don't see Thor being able to go against all of the all of the X-Men like this. I'm not saying they could like one-on-one solo him, but I'm also saying between Storm and Iceman, I think there's enough where they could freeze him solid long enough where they could take out everybody else. I don't see Captain America being that big of a problem. I don't.
No, he's gay.
Maybe Vision.
Bro, Wolverine could take.
I've got
Cap.
you guys. I got to chat.
yeah.
Vote for X-Men or you're a PDF file. How about that?
Whoa!
So if we're going in the
X-Men.
X-Men in this,
You guys do the
picture,
math over here. I'll win on this side.
If we're going, because this is an important factor. If we're going with these X-Men specifically, we're going with Marvel girls.
Where's
correct?
Mercury in this?
Or are we going? Because
Retrograde or what?
Phoenix.
That's Marvel Girl.
we could do Marvel
Yeah.
Girl. Yeah.
All right, so
But
because
even if-
Phoenix would be a big determining factor in which way the fight goes.
Don't
so
touch
if we're doing
kids.
Marvel
Chat,
Girl,
do not touch
then I'm just gonna ignore that entirely.
Yeah, don't.
First
touch
of all,
kids.
do you guys think
do
just
You can
based-
agree. It's okay. Vaughn.
Yeah, no, Star Wars Marvel Purist has a good point. Polaris is on the team. Goodbye, Iron Man.
yeah, dude, you don't.
Okay,
Uh,
Captain America would be walking around with his shield in his
And
hat.
Ebony, with respect, you take that shield away, and he does not have fucking adamantium or claws.
Yeah.
Dude, now let's talk about everyone's favorite X-Men. Thunderbird is part of this lineup. So do we think he's going to survive this battle?
Who?
Thunderbird, he's in that picture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird.
How many times has that guy died? Like
Once, and then he never came back until like
Yeah.
2 years ago. They
It's kinda
decided.
racist, really,
as God
you cut
intended.
him off like that.
Yeah.
Well, they brought back his brother who looks exactly like him and just became the new Thunderbird.
They're not interchangeable like that. Like people are people, right? You understand?
Well, I know that the
Just need
brother
the
was very, the
representation.
brother was very
He brought his
angry.
brother.
It's 86% X-Men right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
Warpath.
Yep.
I know who Warpath is.
Yeah, Warpath is the brother.
What
Of,
about Moira? Where's Moira McTaggart in all this?
she's gonna be
Yeah,
in it.
she's the determining factor.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in the background, ready to fucking patch people up. That's what she's gonna be doing.
Couldn't
Okay.
Nightcrawler just bamf them all away?
To
Yeah.
where?
Exactly.
Well, exactly. Who cares?
I mean, I gotta
Exactly.
be honest.
Well, are
dude,
we-
the
are-
fact- you have Wolverine, Storm, and Jean Grey. Those three alone would fucking murk them off like a
Okay.
I'm
map.
just saying.
Polaris,
utilize with that.
Havoc
Humor-
is
humor
Havoc
me
is
on-
an underrated.
Humor me on
force.
Hank Pym though when he's Yellow Jacket. What is his power
So
scheme? As
yeah,
the
all right.
Yellow
So
Jacket?
Yellow Jacket. So what Yellow? Well, Hank Pym at that point, he's more of a villain, and he's like completely unstable. His powers at that point is just the same as Ant-Man, but what he can do is he can grow.
Oh,
And,
so he does have the giant man attack.
He's
And spousal
still
abuse.
Ant-Man. He's still Giant
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
He's
Good.
just like, I'm a bad guy, so let me change my costume and beat on my wife.
He's the next
That's
guy.
what Yellow
yeah.
Why
Makes
would he
sense.
bring that
Dude,
up like it's
Janet
a
Van
fact?
Dyne
And
hangs
it's
up
a
I mean,
funny-
because that's what in Avengers issue.
Listen,
Because that's
59
literally the point. It made him
in
edgy.
Avengers issue 59.
Oh,
that's
he's
when it
edgy.
happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
case
Badger.
closed.
Dude,
Dude,
it's
the Avengers
very
were
First of
better
all-
when they were beating
Hang on.
their
First of
wives.
all, can we
Professor
be,
X
can we
is
be
there.
honest?
There you go.
Are we gonna pretend that Wolverine, in all of his 200 years of life, never slapped the bitch? Like, come on, he absolutely had
Never
to.
in
Did.
his life. He's
Never.
I'm sure Wolverine had some
All
real
right.
fun.
Even the
opinions.
1800s, when it was
He
more
punches
normal,
Cyclops or
when it was
Cyclops,
more normal in the
whatever his name is.
1800s, he totally did.
Oh my
Lady
god.
Lady
Jism.
Deathstrike. All
It was
those.
never
yeah.
normal though, Vaughn. Really. But-
Okay,
Well,
Janet
it was
Van Dyne
more
wakes
normal.
It was
up
more
and
common. I
beats
wouldn't say it's normal.
Well, I didn't.
I wouldn't say that.
Or you know what I meant.
I didn't say it's normal. I'm saying it's. I would say it was more common, which doesn't make it good.